Sims and Leon, your mom's favorite podcast. Trust me, I'm a mom.
Alrighty, we have Aliki in with us again.
Hello, gentlemen.
And as usual, she's on our hotline. But today, we are very excited to say this is now our Buy Here, Pay Here RV hotline. That's buyherepayhererv.com. That's a little place here in Burleson, Texas, where you can buy an RV. They do in-home financing. It's a cool place, and
we're located right off 35, so it's easy access.
As long as you have a down payment, they'll sell it to you. Very little credit checks. It's a buy here, buy now. So
have a variety of
if
campers
you have
out
a
there.
job.
Yeah, basically that's it. You have a job, you can prove income, you have a certain amount down. They will get you into an RV that suits your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So buy here, pay here,
Whether
RV.
it's home or travel.
Yeah, buy here, pay here, RV.com hotline.
Yep.
So Aliki, how have you been?
I've been great. How about you guys?
Nothing to complain about.
Except the weather.
Yeah, I can complain about the weather. Apparently, you all can't complain about the weather.
Oh, we can
Wait, so what's wrong with your weather?
Well, on a weekly basis, not excluding this week, we've had a snowstorm every week since Christmas.
Oh man,
it's been insane. We had 2 inches of ice last week. Week before, we had snow, which was why we were stuck in Dallas, Texas. Not that that's a bad thing. Trying to get home from Fort Myers. So.
Yeah, we called you on our late night recording when you were in Dallas, Texas. Oh no,
we were
was
at
it?
the airport?
Yes.
No, we were at the brewery.
Yeah, we're at the brewery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing our fun
they're
little
very
recording.
nice.
So yeah,
Very nice airport.
We had our winter last weekend. It got down with
a week ago today.
A week ago today. It got down to low teens.
A week ago today.
Yeah.
Did you mark it on the calendar?
Well,
Winter's over.
Texas was shut down.
Yeah, we literally recorded the podcast last week, and it was snowing.
Yeah, it was sleeting. Ricky had to hurry home.
Yeah, I had to get home before it got super frozen. So because everything freezes in Texas as soon as it hits freezing.
Okay, so when did this happen? I wasn't in Texas a week ago.
No, this was last week.
No.
You were here. I think it was 2 weeks ago when you were flying through.
Yes, 2 weeks. Okay.
That was
well,
still.
Thank God. Yeah.
That was still kind of fall. We're still in the fall weather then, and so we had our.
And so it's over. The groundhog did not see his shadow, and we're good now.
Yeah, so I think we have a prairie dog in Texas.
Yeah,
I think it's Prairie Dog Pete. Yeah, I think it's Prairie Dog Pete, and I think he's out of Lubbock or Amarillo. I can't remember, but yeah. So today it got into the 80s.
Yep,
it's very nice.
Shorts now. Last week we could hardly keep them warm, and this week in shorts.
Last week heater, this week air conditioning.
Yep,
it's how
and
we
so
live.
Is that it? It's completely over now, you feel like, or is there a chance you could dip down into the low 40s at some point?
There's a chance it might drop down again, but I don't think it'll last long. The latest I've ever seen it get really cold was 1 year in March. We went on a golf trip and we played golf on Friday in shorts and t-shirts, and the next morning the golf course was covered in snow. We're on a
I was there that trip. That was a long time ago. That was 10-ish
years ago.
Yeah.
That was quite a while ago. All right, Aliki, I gave you a homework assignment for this this podcast.
I took it very seriously. Very seriously.
It was a very serious one because it's something we haven't done yet on this show. Me and Aliki watched a TV show and told Dustin he cannot know anything about it.
Yeah, I pretty much got yelled at.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. So the show is on Netflix. It's called Murderville.
Okay.
Aliki, do you want to say anything about it before I go on to the synopsis?
Well, I have to definitely give it to them. It's a very original idea. I was very impressed. It was very risky on their part, but it worked.
It worked.
So I was impressed. It did. It worked very well.
So I don't even know how to categorize it.
That's what I was about to say.
It's comedy, it's improv, it's murder mystery.
Improv.
Yeah. So it's got what's his name?
No idea.
Will Arnett.
Yeah, it's got Will Arnett, and he's a detective. The rest of his crew, like his chief, the funny thing. One of the funny things is his chief is his ex-wife, or the wife that is divorcing
or
him.
soon to be.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, she's divorcing him, so he works directly for her. So all this part is scripted. It's kind of ish, and then every episode, there's 6 episodes. Every episode, a guest celebrity star comes in to be his partner, and like episode 1, it's Conan O'Brien. She introduces him, was like, "You have a new partner today," and Will Arnett's like, "I don't need a partner," blah blah blah, like fake throwing a fit about it, and then walks in like, "This is Conan O'Brien." Like, no, not a fake name, anything.
Yeah, like it's actually him.
It's actually Conan O'Brien
He
being
plays
Conan
himself.
O'Brien, and he has no script. So then,
Or any idea.
Yeah, he has no idea what he's walking into.
Really?
He just knows he's going in the show, and I think he knows that he's a detective.
Yeah, I think so, because he has that vest. They all say detective in training.
Yeah.
So I think that's about the only clue they're getting as they walk on.
Yeah, so it starts off with them interacting at his desk, and just you can tell they're trying to make each other laugh by their answers and responses. So this is basically, when it's for him and the guest just sitting there talking, it's 100% just improv back and forth. And then, yeah, and he talked about, Will Arnett said, like the first big laugh I made was when he said, "My partner died 15 years ago. She was killed 15 years ago," and points to a picture of Jennifer Aniston.
Dude, I was going to ask if you noticed that, because I was like, oh my God.
So then the detective, the chief comes in and says, "There has been a murder." And then now they have to go solve the murder.
Like Clue, like real life Clue.
Yeah. Have you ever done like a murder mystery?
Yeah. I'll play the game.
Yeah, Clue. Yeah, it's kind of like Clue. So then they look at the murder, like the first episode, Conan's murder. It was a magician who sawed his assistant in half and couldn't put her back together. So they had to figure out who murdered that person. And they determined, like, oh, his fake saw was swapped out with his real saw. And they say the clues they found at the crime scene. And then they find 3 suspects. And so they have to go interview these suspects. And that's how Conan gets his clues. So at the end, Conan...
But the whole time, Conan has no clue
Yeah.
what direction this is going in. He has no lines. He's completely working off of everything that, Will Arnett is saying. Every other actor is in on it. So he's having to just come out with things on the cuff.
Yeah, so I've done a murder mystery a couple of times, and the way that works, everyone gets like a little packet, and you have objectives to do, questions to ask certain people, so you can figure out who's the murderer, and or whatever the situation is. All the guests have a little like notebook they're looking through, and you can tell they're asking these certain questions for a reason, and they're writing stuff down. I think at one point, Conan, he started talking to another detective, and he started explaining everything, and Will Arnett's like, "Why are you telling him all that? He's a cop too. He knows." He's like, "I'm just trying to go through all the steps." And so they're interviewing the first suspect at a restaurant, and part of this, there was spicy. They found hot sauce on the saw blade. There's no fingerprints, but there was hot sauce.
Okay.
And so they order giant margaritas and a sloppy Joe sandwich.
Slopperito.
Yeah, slopperito.
Yeah.
And then the sandwich, and it looks like it looks like a sloppy Joe. It's messy, and that's what I'm talking about. It's the soggiest sandwich you'll ever eat. So then Will Arnett grabs a bottle of hot sauce and starts just pouring it on there.
That was the best part.
Yes, pouring it on Conan's, not on his.
Did you see Conan trying to push his hand away, like,
yes,
for the love of God?
Sorry.
But he kept eating it. I'll give it to him.
It's almost like they had an agreement. It's like, if I tell you to do something, you have to do it. And so while he's doing it, the lady, the waitress that they're interviewing, was like, "You don't want to put that much on there. It's really hot." So then Conan takes a bite out of it.
He was like, "Yeah, you're telling me."
And he's just like, you can tell it's hot. You can tell it's super hot for him anyways. And then he's like, "Ask your question." Then as he's about to ask a question, he starts pouring more on there. That's when he starts pushing his hands away again.
Oh, that was the best part. That cracked me up.
So they go through all 3 suspects. And then at the end, he has to make his guess on who he thinks did it. And right after he guesses, the chief comes out with everybody else on the police force, and they say if he's right or wrong. And they, it's kind of dramatic, not super dramatic, but it's not like a game show where they draw everything out long term. Yeah. But she says the same thing as, like, she'll say a small little thing like, "You did really good at investigating all these questions," whatever. And then, but whatever, you're wrong. But the way she says it, it's neatly written, because it could go either way. And then she says, "You are 100% correct or 100% wrong." I didn't do it the first episode because I wasn't thinking of it that way.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't try to. Yeah,
I wasn't following the clues.
But if you follow the clues, you could figure it out. Yeah, I think.
So then, on the second episode, I started following the clues, and that made it even more fun to watch, because now you're also trying to solve this murder along with whoever it is. So this episode 2 is Marshawn Lynch,
which I'll tell you what. He shocked me, the football player.
Yeah, he's a football player. You want to look him up?
I was shocked how well he did.
He did great. He was very funny. And another thing
is, he got right into character.
Yeah. And like in the Conan thing, they put him in a situation where they're trying to make him not be able to answer very well, so he'll like crack. But Conan's, he's a comedy writer. So as soon as he starts responding to something, he ended up making another girl just have to turn around and start laughing. It was a very fun, because they're trying to stump him on these questions. Oh, it's great. All right, so then we had Marshawn Lynch, which, what was the murder in Marshawn Lynch's? Which one was that?
That was the second one. That was the triplets.
Oh, the triplets with the puppet.
The guy that played the triplets was awesome.
Yes. I'm trying to remember his name.
Tommy Toons. Tommy Toons.
No. The doll was Tommy Tuxedo.
Yeah, but remember,
Tommy Toons is mentioned a lot in the show.
Yes, as it goes on. Yes, quite a bit. But it was Tommy Tuxedo. That's right.
Yeah, it was Tommy Tuxedo was a doll. So that one, the mother of the triplets got murdered by Tommy Tuxedo by them hitting her in the head with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she dies that way. They're trying to figure out which one killed her. And, same thing, go through all the whatever clues. And
I think he did so good in that one.
Yeah, you can tell.
Because he's zero acting experience. Never is he put in that sort of situation. And he just took right to it. I was actually shocked by how well he did.
He was very funny, too.
Yes,
he said a lot of funny things.
Yes, he totally. The only part I didn't like was the two-way mirror. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. But other than that,
hold on, that was super ridiculous. But the way they acted out was kind of hilarious.
Yes, I was just like, okay, and that's why I originally didn't want to watch the show, because that was the clip that Netflix played as like the little teaser, and I was like, oh, come on. So then when you said the show, I was like, well, okay.
Here's what I loved about that one, because if you don't know who Marshawn Lynch, he's a giant black football player.
Yeah, I looked him up. And
the guy playing the triplets is your basic generic white guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so the two-way mirror was either busted out or wasn't there, and they didn't know it at first. And it was like, so Will Arnett was like, you're gonna have to just mimic what they're doing so they can't tell it's a mirror. So you have the giant Marshawn Lynch and skinny white dude.
It's quite obvious.
It was very, very dumb, but the way they played it out, I thought was very funny.
You know, the part I loved was when they were at the table and they were interviewing the first twin or triplet, and Marshawn and Will Arnett, they kept speaking in like, modern, saying, oh, that would be the shiznit and that would be this or that. And he was like, I have no idea what you're saying, but okay, we can do that. And I was laughing because that reminds me of when I speak to my children and they're saying all these terms, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but sure, yeah, if that's what you think. It was so funny because I was like, oh my God, I so feel that.
Yeah, they were doing that, and they also did it where they would turn and just talk to each other while the suspect is right in front of them, and the guy would be like, I can still hear y'all. And then when they got to the either the second or the third one, Marshawn Turner was like, man, they can all hear us, huh?
I think they have really good hearing.
So they
did a great job.
Yeah. So the third one was Kumail Nanjiani?
Yes.
Nanjiani?
Nujamani. Yeah.
Nujamani?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know a lot about this guy.
Close enough. Yeah, he's a comedian. He kind of plays in some. I see him more in like in kind of indie type films. Sort of like kind of a quirky movie. I've seen him in a couple of them.
And I think he was Wolverine in some movie.
I don't think so.
Okay, the only reason I'm saying that is because I watched a Rogan podcast yesterday that had the same one.
Him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They talked about him, and I think they said that he buffed up for that part. Now he's like super buff. And that's that's why he got so buff.
How do you spell his name again?
Kumail.
Yeah, is it Nugemody? Maybe?
Nanjj. He did get kind of buff, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't see. That totally came out of left field. I did not see him playing Wolverine.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't really watch a lot of superhero movies, which is that considered superhero?
Yeah, X-Men.
Okay.
Sort of. Yeah.
So here's what was something.
It's not Marvel.
Yeah. So here's something I thought was funny in this episode is they're at a high school reunion, and a tech billionaire got killed because a guy named Seth Gorky. And they said, he's the creator of your mom's favorite social networking site. And I was like, that's perfect for us.
Hey, it's us.
I think I sent Dustin
Wait, it was
clip
Face
of that.
Place? Is that what they called it?
Yeah, Faceplace.
Yeah.
Faceplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, creator of your mom's favorite social networking site, Faceplace.
Yes.
And then, so here's the first time we saw them interacting with the dead body, and you realize the dead body is an actual person just sitting there pretending to be dead.
Okay.
Yes, and that guy's trying so hard not to laugh.
Yes, and he had to dig a clue out of his mouth.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
And it was just a note. I don't remember what it says. Oh, it says "See you in hell."
Yes. Yes. I think the best part of that whole one was Lisa, the ex, the woman he had, Will Arnett had a crush on. She was the best. She was awesome. God, she was so good.
The first nerd that they talked to said it had a really funny line that made me laugh, and I had to watch it multiple times because of it. And it was very simple. He was like, "Yeah, he stole my idea." I was like, "Well, what was your idea?" It's like, "To start a company."
Wow.
Yes.
not
But you know, it was like, kind of. Did you get the reference to the Facebook? Yeah, I was like, they were and then they, veered off, but it was sort of funny how they were poking a little bit at Zuckerberg in that one.
Yeah, and so Kumail has a Pakistani accent, and at one point Will Arnett starts like repeating everything he says, and Kumail's like, "Say it in a Pakistani accent. If you say it like I sound," he's like, "But don't make it racist."
Hey, I'll give it to Will Arnett. He pulled that off.
He came back
off an accent.
He came back with a British accent. He's like, "I just assumed you moved to the Pakistan guy I was doing moved to Britain as soon as he was born."
Yes.
Wow.
That's how he got around it. It was he did good. That was a good one. Yeah.
So how many episodes is this thing?
Six.
Yeah, there's 6 episodes, and then they found out that Will Arnett's nickname was Fart and Faint.
Like real?
That was good.
No, at high school, because it was his high school reunion.
Gotcha.
He wasn't going to go, but then the murder ended up being there, so he was like, "I guess I'll have to go." And then he was trying to get back to his ex-girlfriend, and then, "Do you still faint and fart?" And so his nickname was Fart and Faint. All right, then, do you know who Annie Murphy is?
Oh, I've heard that name.
I did not know who she was, and it suddenly hit me. Once I looked, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Okay, I recognized her, but I couldn't think of where she was from.
It's Alexis from Schitt's Creek.
Oh my goodness!
The
right.
daughter.
Yeah.
Yes, I
It's
did not know who it was. Also, I was like, "Oh yes, Alexis," and she does that song. All I want to do is sing that song the whole time. Which, by the way, she is awesome on Schitt's Creek. However, I don't think she did that great of a job on this one. I don't think improv is her thing.
Improv was not her thing. I love the things that Will Arnett made her do, like stirring the food with her hands.
Yes.
And then,
well, I think Will Arnett was almost getting. You could almost see him getting frustrated that she wasn't giving him anything to work with. I think he was like, "You're not getting anything back here. This is too much work on my part." I almost actually saw him get frustrated, and then in the kitchen scene, she was getting angry at him.
Yes.
So it was kind of a weird vibe.
There was a very weird vibe on this one, and that French lady, the French cook, made it even more weird. The way she would just randomly yell at him. So did you pick up on this in the very episode? Like when you first meet the chief, she's telling him like, "You need to come get your box of stuff," and names what all's in the box.
Oh no.
So it was a box, and she's like, "You need to come get your stuff." It's like, "It's just a bunch of junk." He's like, "It's not a bunch of junk."
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, it's a broken PlayStation 2, a stack of Maxim magazines." What was else? There's one other thing in there. Oh, a T-shirt. It was a T-shirt that said.
Oh, a T-shirt. Yes, it says, "I'm home. Take me drunk."
Yes.
Or I'm
And a T-shirt says, "I'm home. Take me drunk." At some point in this episode, he takes that box and gives it to somebody else. He's like, "I was bringing you this box, and there's this stuff." He has her take it to the mob boss. That's right. He has her take it to the mob boss. She's like, "What is this?" Like, well, so we can get more information from him. He's like, "Well, it's a broken PlayStation 2, a T-shirt that says this, and a bunch of Maxim." What I mean,
I didn't catch. Oh, that's clear. I did not catch that. Yeah, you're right. I didn't catch it. That was his original box of stuff at his ex-wife's house.
So I watched this show twice.
Huh.
Wow, you got business.
Well, once I saw it, and I was like, "I think we should watch this for the podcast." I was like, "I'll watch it again to see if I missed anything." That's when I noticed that. I was like, "Okay, that's a pretty funny bit that probably has very little payoff." Because I don't know how many people actually paid attention to that.
That was an Easter egg you had to look for very carefully.
All right, so now we're at episode 5, which was Sharon Stone.
Which, that's a cold lady right there. She came across as such. I thought she was a bitch.
She was so good at it, though.
I thought she was so bitchy. And then of course I love, they had to turn a little political with the science comment. I was like, okay, you have to throw that one in. I thought, here we go. So I didn't care for her at all.
So all the murders are ridiculous.
Yeah.
This one, a surgeon, had his heart surgically removed and sewn back up. So while they're checking on him, they start playing with his nipples. So
Okay.
so you have this guy laying there with a scar going down his chest like he was just sewn up. Very nice, very nicely sewn up.
Yeah.
And they're playing with his nipples, talking about it. So you see the guy's like, trying not to laugh, trying not to smile. And then they notice his heart on the floor.
Oh, shit.
And the doctors are like, oh, it looks like somebody stomped on it. So that's one of the clues later when the girl's like, yeah, he literally stomped on my heart. It's like, oh, maybe that was her revenge. So, Aliki, this is the one I was going to guess was your favorite.
No.
No?
Okay, first of all, and this is going to sound so mean, she looked so old in that show that it just made me think, do I look this old? And then I just started spinning with that whole thing, like, oh my gosh. Because I remember watching her in that movie, the famous, leg uncrossing scene, and she was like just stunning, and everyone, I just thought, oh my God, we're all getting old. And so I couldn't get over it. I could not get past it.
Was that Basic Instinct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised that she didn't do anything with that, because I think that's like one of the most famous movie scenes.
Yeah.
Really, that's like putting baby in the corner kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's eternal. And I was just really surprised they didn't do anything with that. But yeah, I was not that. And she just seemed really kind of bitchy, just to be honest with you. I don't know. I didn't care for that one too much. When she said, I've been described as difficult, I was like, spot on, that you have. You could just see it.
I thought that's why you would like that one, because she said shit like that.
No, I'm not. I didn't care for her at all.
Because I was like, your partner's kind of rude. And she was like, I'm used to being called difficult.
Yeah,
And so while they're interviewing the first lady's like, all right, we'll let you ask us questions too. She's the I don't know, not the head physician, but she's in charge of all the doctors.
Okay.
Whatever her title was.
the director of the hospital, I guess.
And so interview her, so they're like, all right, now you get a question. Her question was asking Sharon Stone's like, do you find your partner attractive?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, not really. She's like, what name something you like about him? Like, she goes, the silence.
Oh,
I like
God.
the silence. So I thought there was some funny stuff in that one.
There was some funny things, but yeah. But I wasn't.
So I got your favorite one wrong. What was your favorite one?
My favorite one was Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
I think he had the best chemistry. And of course, I'm sure it has to do with the fact that every night Conan goes out and he pretty much does improv. He's interviewing a guest, doesn't know what they're going to say, and he has to just think on his feet and work off of them. So
and he was a writer for Saturday Night Live and a writer for The Simpsons. Yeah. So he's got a big comedy background.
Yes, but I'll be honest with you. When I was in high school, we had an awesome theater arts teacher, and he had us do improv a lot, and it can be a lot of fun, but it is difficult. Yeah. And you've got to there's sometimes just like some chemistry. There was people you'd be paired up with and you could just go for days. And I just felt like Conan and Will, they just had a great chemistry. Everything flowed. And to be honest with you, it was as though they both had scripts with each other. So I was very impressed. I was super impressed with Marshawn, because he has no background in it. So I thought, good for you. It flowed. You didn't act like you were lost or didn't know what to say. And then ironically, the rest of them are professional actors, and I felt like all of them were just, okay. So I was like, that's kind of interesting that, I'm not taking anything away from actors, but they obviously...
Well, they have to be handed a script, I guess.
Yeah.
They have to have a script.
They can't do anything on their own.
Right, exactly. They have to. So see, Hollywood's not as smart as they like to act like they are.
They need writers like Conan.
Yeah.
So, they do. They need brains behind them, even though they act like it's them.
When I watched the first episode with Conan, in my mind I was thinking, Netflix does this quite a bit, where they put a small series like this out and they put the best episode on first. So then then you're kind of hooked to it.
Yeah.
And I was worried that was going to be the case, but I don't think that was the case.
Yeah. But I do think that was their best one for sure. I think he did the best job.
Okay. What was your least favorite one?
Probably the Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, gosh, it was a tie between Sharon and, as much as I hate to say it, Annie Murphy. I felt like...
You just hate the women.
Well, I've always loved men.
So,
That's not. I've nothing sexist about it. I felt like I felt like I just felt like the Amy Murphy one was kind of awkward, and I felt like Sharon Stone was kind of bitchy. So it was like with those two.
those two were doing it more like a competition with Conan, not playing off of Conan.
Yes, which was
Which was not the point of the show.
Right.
So the very last episode was Ken Jeong.
Okay.
And
Leslie Chow.
Yes,
Mr. Chow.
Leslie Chow. So in a lot of the episodes, at some point, either Conan, Will Arnett, or somebody will laugh. Just the other person will say something, just make him laugh. Ken laughed the entire time.
The entire time.
He could not stop. Every joke he would laugh at. I think there was one that I watched 5 times just so I could see the reaction of the other 3 people standing there, and where they're investigating the murder of his old partner. Yeah. And so he's like, now you need to lay down on the floor and get in position because they retraced her outline. Yeah. But you still have to take notes. So he's awkwardly laying on the floor trying to take notes. And he stands up. He's like, I think we can figure that out. So we're going to have to go deep. He goes, and Will Arnett goes, how deep are you willing to go? He goes, very deep. And he goes, man, I was hoping you'd say balls deep. He goes, I'm willing to go balls deep. And everybody just shook their head like, I can't believe you just said that. You could tell they were trying not to laugh because the way he said it was really funny. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of funny ones in that, and funny parts in that episode. The Irish guy in jail.
Yes, that was really fun. That actually was funny. That cracked me up. And I'll tell you what, Will Arnett's really good with accents.
Yeah. So you had the Irish guy in jail. Why can't I think of the actor's name? The guy in
the guy that played the Irish guy. I have no clue.
You gotta give me something.
No. The one. So they give Ken Jeong a nickname while he was in the jail cell.
Oh,
yes. Liam Neeson.
Yes, Liam Neeson. Yes.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
There you go.
So then they're talking about a sniper.
I like old Liam.
Yeah, so the guy, because they're trying to figure out, so the guy's like, that's how many people he murdered. And the guy's like, well, there's a difference between killing and murder, because I used to be a sniper for the U.S. government, so those weren't really murders, those were actual approved killings. And then Will Arnett turned to Ken Jeong and said, you should kill somebody with a sniper, you'd be taken. And then the guy in the cell looks at Will Arnett and is like, you'd be taken too. And then you see Will Arnett trying not to laugh because they're calling him Liam Neeson.
Yes, from his most famous movie.
Taken too.
Yes, poor Ken. He just had such a hard time not laughing the whole time. And I can tell at one point Will Arnett was like, stop laughing.
Yeah. But I think that kind of made it very funny in a different kind of way.
But, okay, what was the most amazing thing, and maybe you knew this before, and that's why I'm amazed, and maybe you weren't, but what was the most amazing thing that you discovered from that episode? I was floored, and I had to look this up when I learned it.
Huh.
That he was a doctor.
He was
yeah.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know he was an internist. And, I mean,
yeah,
who gets lucky enough in life that they're smart enough to get through med school and then say, what the hell, I'm going to throw this all away and be an actor and then be successful at that?
Well, I don't know that he threw it all away.
You.
Me and Ricky were talking about this the other day at the brewery.
Yeah. He was a doctor, and when his wife got breast cancer, because he was a doctor at that certain hospital, he was able to get her treatment as quickly as he could, and that's what saved her life. So if you ever get a chance to look up that story because it's very fascinating.
Well, it's amazing to me because the accomplishment of becoming a medical doctor is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot to get there.
And then he's showing his ass on Hangover.
And his wiener.
Yes, exactly. And then to become a successful actor, that's incredible. To do both, good for you. But you're right. Yeah, he was definitely willing to take a risk.
It's funny because
in his acting career.
You were saying the most shocking thing, and I never thought of that because I already knew that.
Yeah, that's why
I
knew.
I didn't know that.
Me and Dustin
I was like, what?
Yeah, me and Dustin also watch a show called Community, and he's in there. He's Professor Chang in there, and he's hilarious on there.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
He is good.
All right, so do you have notes on your favorite episode that you want to talk about?
Well,
your favorite parts?
Like I said, I loved the Conan. My favorite part on the Conan, of course, was I just thought it was so funny when he kept pouring the hot sauce on it, because you could just see that Conan wanted to break character and say, stop putting this on here.
Oh, and at one point he did. He just pushed it away. Yeah, at one point he pushed it away and was like, I can't anymore. I can't.
I can't do it anymore.
And
so
then
that was good. And I did love it when Mershon asked if he could change his name to Detective Bagovich.
Detective Bagovich. So
yeah, I loved it.
So do you want to guess my favorite episode? I'll tell you, it's not the first one. It's not the last one.
Okay, I'm gonna say, ooh, this is a tough one. Is it Kamal's?
No, it's Marshawn Lynch.
I was going to
was
say
that
Marshawn Lynch. I was going to say that one.
Oh, I should let you guess. You probably would have guessed right.
Yeah.
And it's written down. You probably could have seen that.
Honestly, I can't read your
read
your handwriting.
Cheating.
So this is the one. Yeah, I wrote down some notes. So this one is where the triplets are. There has to find the killer, and the title of the thing is
and the
called,
triplet. The guy that played the triplets was awesome.
Yeah, and it's called Triple Homicide, which they have funny words. So my first one I wrote was Detective Bagovich because that was hilarious, and
that was good. I like that one.
Will Arnett's response to that was. It was like so quick. He said, "Well, that's a different division. I'm going to have to make a phone call."
Yes.
So they calls like, "I have a partner that wants to change his name to Detective Bagovich." And it's like, yeah, that was really funny. Then I wrote down Two-Way Mirrors, but we already kind of talked about that. It was kind of silly, but I thought that's what made it so great. Yeah. So when they go and interview the second brother,
yeah, the prepper,
yes, who lives in basically his mom's basement.
Yes.
And then he tells them, "You don't have jurisdiction here because I seceded from the country." And now,
right. Okay.
Yeah, and now
I'm
I call
in my
this
own country.
Yes, I'm in a country called Chester World.
Yes.
So then they asked him, "When's the last time you saw your mom?" He's like, "Last time was a couple weeks ago. I was in court. She was trying to kick me out of my house." And then Marshawn Lynch, his response was so great. He's like, "She's trying to kick you out of your own country?"
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That was such a quick
Yes.
comeback. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. It's like for someone who has zero experience in this field, he really did well.
Yeah, and early on, Conan asked, like, have you done any prep work? Have you ever done any detective work before? He's like, I watched Training Day. Like, just little stuff like that was hilarious. Yes. And then when Chester got at the end, I'll spoiler alert, he's guilty. Okay. It's probably the easiest one to tell. I think so. It was very the clue was very clear right away as soon as you saw him. Yeah, you knew it was him. Yeah, and then his response to that was, "I demand to be deported to my country of origin."
That's right. Yes.
So that has some fun, silly lines in it. Huh. But all in all, I give that show a A++.
Yeah, it's good. And I like it because it's very original.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked. It was completely out of left field, but it was really good and it worked. So I did. And I think Will Arnett is funny. He always plays these quirky, weird characters, but I like him. I've always liked him.
Did you watch Arrested Development?
A little bit, not a ton.
Okay.
I have not, but I need to go and watch that.
His character's really funny in Arrested Development. He plays a magician that's not a very good magician.
Okay, so this one he's the son, right?
Yeah, he's one of the sons. He's Joe.
One of the yes. So I started and watched a few episodes, and then for some reason I got distracted and didn't come back to it.
See, when I first
watched... The problem with streaming, there's so many choices.
Yeah, and when I first watched it, I had trouble getting into it because it was narrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But once somebody else told me, was like, dude, the narration is pretty great on it. So then I started actually listening to it. I was like, oh, hey, it actually adds to the story. And at the end of every episode, the narrator comes on and says, on the next Arrested Development, who's the narrator?
I don't think I watched that.
Golly, he's very famous.
I mean, I'll look it up for you. Got this little smart device here.
He's a director, a very famous director. I think he was in Happy Days.
Sunday, Monday. No idea.
Maybe Bateman? No, he's in the show. He's not the narrator.
Okay, is this a show where they the father gets arrested at the beginning for okay.
Ron Howard.
Yes, Ron Howard.
Yes. Okay. And then what's his name? Okay, yes, I was watching this the other day because I love the main character. What's his name? He's in Ozark.
Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Jason Bateman. Yes.
Yeah. So at the end,
he's the best straight man ever.
Oh, he's great.
I think he's funnier than someone who is really goofy. I mean, he can deliver a joke in such a dry, excellent manner.
Yeah, he's definitely dry.
Oh, He's so
No,
good.
I think he really is a good actor.
No, he's great. And
I used to have such a crush on him when when he was young. That was like we had magazines called Tiger Beat and Teen Beat and like Centerfolds, and like he was one of them. I'd hang on my wall.
So at the end of every episode, Ron Howard, narrator comes on and says, on the next Arrested Development, and it plays like a scene that you'll never see again. It's an addition to the episode you're watching. Like, oh, that's a funny thing to add to this story, but you never see it again. So it doesn't really ever happen. It's really funny.
Okay.
Like there's one episode. I don't even know how I can describe this completely. He starts dating this British girl that they find out is mentally handicapped.
Okay.
But he doesn't realize it. And his parents think
Sounds like a couple ex-boyfriends I've had.
his parents think
For
she's
sure.
his parents think she's trying to marry him for his money. But then they realize she has her own money. So now they're encouraging them to get married. So one thing
Easy mark.
Yeah, one thing that Will Arnett's character Job always says, he's like, "It's not a trick, Michael. It's an illusion." Talking about his magic.
No.
And one of his things was one of his illusions is walking on water. So at some point in this episode, she catches on fire because everything just goes haywire while they're about to get married. Just everything goes crazy. And it says on the next Arrested Development, and it shows her trying to get in the pool, but it's just a sheet of glass on top of it. She can't put herself out.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's stupid stuff like that.
It's the same kind of comedy that you see in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And what is the one I loved? And they were like, it was like the governmental body of this little town. It was kind of the same kind of premise or same kind of comedy. God, what was that?
It's another TV show?
Yes, it was another. It was just very much like Arrested Development. It kind of had the same flow. I wish I could remember what it was. But
can you think of anybody
those
who's
are
in
all
it?
kind of. I can't even. I'm terrible remembering names. That's why I have to make notes and write down. That's why I knew every actor's name and all these, because I wrote it down and then wrote who they played in other movies, so I could cross-reference and sound like I knew what I was talking about. But apparently, blow my cover. So
Yeah.
No, I had notes too from that show. So there's this show out on Hulu called Pam and Tommy.
Pam and Tommy.
I don't have Hulu, so I'm out on this one.
Wait, when I say Pam and Tommy, does anything come up in your mind?
Negative.
So
No.
it's Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this
Tommy
is the
Lee
one
Jones?
about the sex tape.
No.
Oh.
Tommy Lee, the rock star.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a sex tape of theirs got leaked in the 90s, like early to mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So they made a TV show about it.
Huh.
Please tell me you remember this, or you know of this.
Me?
Oh, Dustin, he sounds totally lost.
He is. He was born
I was
in 92.
born in 92. Come on now.
This is making me feel so old. This is worse
I
than
turned
watching
30
Sharon
in
Stone on
like
this show.
in like 2 months. I turned 30.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
Gosh, this
life
was
is
like-
about to end.
That was the first sex tape scandal that we had ever saw
It was the first sex tape scandal distributed on
ever
the internet.
in Hollywood.
Oh,
But
Yes.
the actual video wasn't distributed on the internet like you can see a video now.
passing around VHS tapes or what?
Yes, they were
Pretty much, yes.
The premise is
It
these
was
two
a
guys.
VHS tape they stole.
Yeah, these two guys were carpenters. This is the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's real life, but this is the show. These two guys are
Okay.
carpenters at Tommy Lee's house,
Okay.
and he ends up firing them because they asked for him to pay them, and then refuses to pay them.
Okay.
And so the one guy, paid by Seth Rogen, gets really mad. He's like, so he makes up this plan to where he's going to steal his safe. So he steals his safe, and he
tapes in there?
finds a sex tape.
Okay.
So then he's like, how can we distribute this? So him and his buddy that is like a porn director, they start going to all these different places to try to sell. It's like, well, do you have consent from them? They're like, no. So he couldn't sell it. So then he had the great idea. It's like, what if I put a link on the internet? The other guy's like, well, how much does that cost? He's like, nothing.
Huh.
We just put it on there, and then they send us money. We mail them out. We'll charge $50 a piece. And there's a lot of nudity in this show, and the most shocking. Aliki, I cannot. I will not recommend the show to you based on what I'm about to say.
Sounds like,
But you decided
that it will be tough for any man who I ever see naked again. Is that what you're suggesting? Because
Ish.
of his enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has a hog on him. I mean, that's
Yes.
like on the sex tape.
Remember,
that's what first like.
I was
Boy's got a hog.
alive for this. Yes, it's well known.
So
he
she's seen
has a third leg.
Yeah, everybody has seen this. If you were any kind of age but older than you,
Yeah.
you
lost.
you
Sorry.
saw this. So there is one scene in this show right after Pam and Tommy hook up for the first time. They're in Mexico, and he's walking over, standing in the mirror, and he's talking to himself, like having a conversation with himself, saying, "I think I love her. I want to marry this girl."
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear him respond, "It's like, no," literally talking to himself. It's like, "No, we want to live the single life. We don't want to be tied down." And then it pans around to the other side of the mirror, and he's talking to his penis. He's talking to his dick, and the dick is responding. It's moving like it has a mouth. It is twisting and turning, looking up at him. It is
okay.
the most insane thing I've ever seen on TV. Like 100% the most insane thing I've ever seen on TV. The guy talking to his penis and the penis talking back and animated. But it looks like
but
it's
way
not animated.
Tommy Lee was, he probably was talking to his penis, and his penis probably did talk back in his mind.
Jesus.
So that really wasn't that far-fetched.
No. So that's a fun show if you want to watch that one. But I'm not recommending it to you just because that scene right there it's outrageous.
And don't let any woman you care about watch it either.
They'll be disappointed in you for the rest of your life.
Yes, they'll be disappointed forever.
I got to find another show.
But yeah,
I
I can't believe
I
that's
thought you were about
so
to pull the video
funny
up.
that
I'm like,
you
I don't
were
need to see that shit.
Turn it off. That's not real. That's not real life.
Have you watched any new shows, Dustin?
Well, she was talking about Ozark.
Oh,
I finished
yeah.
that. Man, it was so good.
Left us hanging. Left us hanging. I was like, are you kidding me?
Okay, so this one was season 4, part 1.
Yeah, it's only half the season.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is gonna be the final season, I believe.
Yes.
Elena kept telling me, "No, this is the last one. This is the last one." I said, "There ain't no way that if they ended on that."
No, because the beginning,
the beginning
of this season shows you the very last moments. I'm assuming of the season.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait a minute, but
Exactly.
oh God, I was like, geez.
I'm ready for it.
That last scene, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you knew it was going to happen, but it was still shocking when it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show is all over the place. I just got my parents to start watching it.
Oh, really?
And they're already in season 3. Like 2 weeks.
I've got some friends of ours. They just started from season 1. They hadn't seen any of it. I think they finished it in a week. All of them.
Okay, is it just me, or do you have like zero desire to go to the Ozarks now? It's like, it kind of, I'm just like, if this were really happening, like the FBI would have no choice but to come in. I am like, there are more dead bodies there than in a cemetery. I'm just like, no one's noticing this happening. Because it's only like in a year or two span.
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone's getting murdered.
Yeah. I'd much rather go to the Wachita River Haven.
You're right. It's the Wichita. It's not the Wachita.
Ozark.
Wachita?
Wachita? It's the Wachita.
Wachita? What did I say?
You said Wachita.
She said we're supposed to say it like Yosemite Sam. Wachita.
It's. I guess you got that part down.
That's one of our new partners that we were getting in touch with. The Wachita. What? Say it again.
I think it's Wachita.
Wachita.
But it's spelled with an O.
Yeah, it's spelled with an O. It's very weird spelling. Like I had to actually talk to them. It's like, how do you say this before we start recording stuff? Wachita River Haven.
When we take our break this time, it'll play. You won't hear it though, Aliki, because it'll be later on. But but yeah, it's spelled with an O. And I told Ricky, I was like, well, you need to fix the spelling on this. He said, nope, that's how you spell it. I was like, okay. They ain't from Oklahoma. They're from.
Yeah,
it does sound better.
They don't have any nicknames.
The second, Wachita does sound better than Wachita.
Yeah, they have a lot of cool places, a lot of cool stuff there. So it's a really neat place. I can't wait to actually go. I've only seen pictures.
So I need to go there over the Ozarks, safer and better.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to their website, and you'll see. And I don't think that you'll even question it.
Okay, I'm in. And there's no cartel there either. I'm not a big fan of the cartel after this show either.
I don't think so. But
like I certainly don't want to work for them, even a little bit.
I've never been there, so I don't know for sure.
Speaking of cartel, I've been watching a show. It's on Hulu as well. It's called Coyote.
Is this about bringing them back and forth?
It's about a border patrol agent that retires.
Yeah.
And he gets caught up in
and he becomes
yeah.
He becomes what he fought. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen the previews for that.
Yeah.
Do you have more on this show, or is that it?
I mean, I didn't want to ruin it for you if you wanted to watch it.
I know.
I'll ruin all the shows, y'all. I tell
Ricky
you,
and I
about.
are
right,
just spoiler alerting everything that we talk about. And you're like, I'm going to leave something for the audience.
Yeah, he gets pretty deep into the cartel, and I'm not all the way done with it. I'm probably 4 episodes in, and then he starts feeling sorry for this girl, and because the cartel pretty much took her and got her pregnant, and so it's going to be a boy, and the Mexican heritage is that the sons are, very special.
Yeah.
And so she was wanted out, and so for some reason this guy just felt that he should help her over the border, and they walked like 27 miles because he got a flat tire. And he cuts a hole in the side of the wall with a sawzall as they're being chased by the cartel, and he gets on the other side of the border, and they don't touch him. I don't think that it's not very accurate. I'll tell you that.
Oh, like what you're saying, or the show?
No, the show.
Oh.
Like if some shit like that happened, there's no way.
You know how a family member that was a border patrol agent?
We did.
I do.
You do?
My dad's uncle. Or sorry, my dad's cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
We can get
I
him
bet
on.
he's seen. I bet he saw some stuff.
That would be a good one. That's so scary down there. I don't.
There's no way. No. I don't want anything to do with the cartel. After watching Ozark, I was like, if I were Marty Bird, I would just kill myself. Suicide would have to be way easier.
Well, he's the only stable one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'd kill it. If Wendy were my wife, I would kill her all day long. She keeps digging his hole deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm like, dude.
We really need to get.
You need to let them take care of her.
We need to get Elena on to talk about that because she says that after watching that show, it's given her tactics on how she talks to people and like stands her ground on stuff. Okay. She's like, it really kind of in negotiating shit with her job and all that. It's funny. She was like, I've really taken after it.
It's a very interesting take
Well,
on it.
Elena is way too nice to be like Wendy. Tell her she cannot do that. And Elena is way too pretty to have to be like Wendy.
You have not seen the Wendy side of Elena.
I don't believe there could be a Wendy side of Elena.
Wendy comes out and yeah.
No, I don't. I think it takes a special kind of person to be like Wendy. Yeah. She can fuck you right to your face with a smile and not even feel bad about it. Woo! Sure. That's cold. She's cold.
Yeah.
Cold.
All right, so I watched another show on Netflix. It's a weird show.
You're into the weird. The weird shows and the comedies. See, whenever I sit down and watch a show, I want to watch one like Ozark. You know what I mean? Like that's just me. That's how I want to. Ozark or Yellowstone.
This show was obviously created as a parody. It's got Kristen Bell in it.
Okay.
And it's called...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window.
I saw that on Netflix, and I was like, is this really the title of this whole show?
Yes.
That is the longest title I have ever seen.
But there's a reason it's long, because it's making fun of other shows.
Okay.
Like, her bit is she drinks a giant glass of wine. She starts with a giant glass of wine.
Giant.
And she sits in the window and starts watching everything outside, and a neighbor who moves across the street, a very good-looking guy moves. No, she's not nosy.
Oh, okay.
She's traumatized.
Okay.
Because you find out her daughter died a few years back. Her husband left her because of that. It's very sad, but
even though it was his fault.
Yeah, it was his. And
totally.
Did you watch any of this?
I've watched about 3 or 4 episodes.
You're halfway
and I've
there.
seen. Yeah, so I haven't, and then I kind of, like I said, then I got distracted by another show.
So it's a silly show. Like it's made to seem serious, but you can tell it's making fun of it. Like there's a guy that works on her mailbox, and it's constantly just always working on the mailbox. Like he's a handyman, but all he does is work on the mailbox. Right. Every time she comes home, working on the mailbox. At the end, you find out he's been working on that mailbox for 15 years. And so it's silly stuff like that. Then someone gets murdered, and she's the only one who sees the murder happen.
Huh.
And
so what drew you to start watching this show?
I have no clue. Kristen Bell. That's what drew me. I love Kristen Bell.
Oh, and I'm sure that one scene did disappoint you because she's kind of everyone's sweetheart, and she kind of got a little down and dirty.
I don't care. It doesn't
Everyone
bother
said
me.
that was a shocking one.
Yeah, I love
All right,
her.
guys, can I take a quick intermission?
Yeah,
really quick.
We'll take a quick break.
Ouachita River Haven is a year-round vacation destination in the heart of the Ouachita Mountains. If you're looking for a place to take your family or a special loved one, the Ouachita River Haven is a great destination. Located in west central Arkansas, they offer a variety of accommodations for your vacation, from primitive campsites to a honeymoon cabin with a hot tub and champagne. Take advantage of all the property by renting a kayak or canoe, or take a tube down the clear and clean waters of the Ouachita River. Book your trip or get more information at WouachitaHaven.com. That's OUACHITAHAVEN.com. You can also call them at 870-326-4941.
870312649441.
Ouachita River Haven, your mom's favorite place for rest and relaxation.
Hey, it's Lindsay
And Amy.
with Rebel Bar Services.
We've worked together in the bar industry for 9 years, and now we're offering our expertise for private events.
We are TABC certified and available for anything from a backyard party, a wedding, corporate event, or even a funeral if that's the way you want to go out.
For more information or to get a quote, call or text us at 817-757-0547.
You can also email us at lindsaydeer@gmail.com. That's LINDZDEER@gmail.com.
Find us on Facebook at Revel Bartending and give us a like and follow.
Rebel Bar Services, your mom's favorite drink slingers.
Okay, on this show, the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window.
Yes.
There's murders, so there's murders involved. Has anybody? So you've seen at least one person get killed, right?
Well, okay, yes, I've seen the first one
Okay.
where she witnesses it, and of course, no one's believing her.
Yeah. Okay. And there's something absolutely crazy about this. Why I know it's a parody is she has a fear of rain.
Okay.
So whenever-
Yes, extreme.
Like, yeah, the first episode, she's going across the street, taking a casserole. Oh, and she has the exact same casserole dish that she has all the time, and she breaks like 8 different casserole dishes from just dropping them
Yes.
for some other reason. And there's one scene in there where we're talking about how they love casserole, and they just call it casserole, like not a certain kind of casserole.
Okay.
Yes, casserole.
So it's the first episode. She's going to take the new neighbors across the street a casserole, and it just starts raining. So she just drops her casserole, falls to the floor, and passes out. And so the neighbor comes over, brings her back in. So who do you think murdered? If there was a murder, who do you think did it?
Well, on the limited knowledge, it seems obvious that it's the boyfriend,
Okay.
but obviously that's not who it is. That would be too plainly obvious.
When
If you wanted to get really conspiracy deep, I guess you could say she did it so she could be with the guy.
Which boyfriend?
Okay, I'm talking about the one that she was interested in, that she brought the casserole to.
Okay.
The one that owns the house with the daughter.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good guess.
So that would be, if you want to just pick the complete obvious. If you wanted to go completely out on a limb, then you can say she's went over and murdered her so that she could be with a guy and that it's all covered up. But I'm sure I'm off completely because I haven't seen enough to really come up with a good opinion.
So what's great about this show is they make you want to think different things, and right when you have it figured out, they change it.
Right. And
They
change
completely
it on
change
you.
it. Yeah. And
Which I do like. I like it when you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that's clever. Yeah.
because I thought I had it figured out, and then something else happened. I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong. I turned out I was right. I was just shocked.
Oh.
But by the time it
Isn't that a
ended,
great
I was
feeling?
shocked that I was right.
I couldn't. Oh, here's the one thing that it kept leaving with. When she broke the casserole dish in the middle of the road, they didn't clean it up, but they kept it there the whole time. And I was like, well, how many cars have flat tires now because of that? That
They
was a
kept
really
it there.
shitty move.
Yeah.
Yes. And like they kind of show several times I'm crossing the street and it's kind of still there, I think. And I'm like, someone needs to clean that up. Really. Those are big pieces of glass they've left in the middle of the road.
Huh.
Glass and casserole. And it's that standard white casserole dish that has like the blue little swirls on it.
The corningware.
Yes. Okay.
And by the way, that's
What's it called?
very valuable on the resale market.
The woman in the house across the street from the girl.
No. The actual dish, like the casserole pan.
Corningware.
Corningware. Yes. Okay. I was going to call it Pyrex, but I guess I was wrong. Corningware.
Yes.
Pyrex is the clear. Well, I say clear.
Clear.
It can
Back
be.
in the day.
It is. Most of it's all clear. Yeah.
I have some old stuff that's the white and it's colored on the outside. The Pyrex stuff. That stuff's valuable too.
Yes, it is. It's very valuable. So every time she breaks, I'm like, well, another $50 down the drain. And she's like, no problem. Just pull out another one.
And she has a ton of these casserole dishes. A ton of them.
That's funny.
It's a big part of the show.
Same size?
Exact same size.
Yes.
Exact same dish.
Keeps
Exact
pulling
same
them out.
size. It's a funny little bit they do. And like throwing people off on the murders. I mean, I can't say it's a great show because it keeps you in suspense with no payoff.
Right.
Like it makes you think something's going to happen, then nothing happens.
Right.
Until the very end, then everything happens all at once.
Oh shit! Yeah, don't tell me because I want to see this one.
But so she's always filling up her glass of wine, and then it'll show her now she has 5 empty wine bottles.
Yes.
Then you find out
in her big cork bowl.
Yeah, she has a giant bowl just full of corks. She was at the she ran out of wine,
which actually didn't look like the worst way to spend your day. I mean, I'm just saying,
right?
It didn't seem the worst.
It also starts with her at a school, I believe. She goes to a school. She goes somewhere, but she's in her robe. Like she shouldn't have been in her robe.
Yeah, but that was kind of sad, actually.
Was that a sad one?
That was sad because she went to the school because her daughter was dead, and it was a remind.
Okay, I didn't remember the details.
That was very dark. Yeah, that was very dark.
Should we tell Dustin how
speaking? We're totally destroying the show for Dustin. Dustin's going to leave the room and say we're ruining his whole experience.
No, I try not to listen.
I don't think we are. I kind of want to tell you how the daughter dies.
No.
No.
Let's not do that. I really want to watch this now.
Okay.
Most of
Are
these
you
shows
the kind of person, Ricky, that talks through a movie and tells everyone everything?
No, I do not. I only talk to myself during movies.
I've already seen this one. Let me tell you about it.
No, I don't do that. But you can't just bring up a show while we're talking about it and not bring up points in there, right? But you're right. I want to tell you because sadly it's funny, if that makes any sense. And it's shockingly funny.
Okay.
And
okay, here's a question, though. All right. Do either of you have children?
No.
Okay, that's why you find that funny. And I am like, what the hell was he thinking?
So hold on.
That's why we have different takes.
Hold on. When they first introduced the concept of what happened, I did not think it was funny. But when they blurted out and say what happened, it's so shockingly funny. I don't know if you may not have gotten to that part yet.
Well, I'm just like, I feel like bring your daughter to work day has a few rules attached to it.
Right.
And
that's definitely one of them.
Probably would have been.
Does he run a trash compactor?
No.
It's worse.
He's
worse.
Hold on, no. He's a therapist.
Oh, okay.
He's a therapist, yeah.
So it's a psycho.
Or psychologist, maybe. Psychologist, therapist, one or the other. So
I'll figure it out.
I'm not gonna tell you anything else about it.
Okay.
Except because I don't think we've said anything that spoils it really.
Now you only have to watch the last 10 seconds, and you'll have the whole show.
Hold on. I wish you have seen the entire thing because there is a fight scene at the very end when she figures out who the real killer is. And now she's fighting the real killer, and it is.
Then I guess it can't be her because she can't fight herself.
It's one of the best fight scenes that maybe she is.
True.
And
still could be.
Yeah. And they're fighting her.
All right, now I'm going to have to go watch it. You won. I'm going to have to finish it now.
Yes. When we find out who the real killer is, there's 2 people fighting her and one other person to determine who's going to be guilty of the killing of the lady, is what it comes down to. Yeah.
Okay. I got to watch it now. Now I'm lost.
It's completely over the top, ridiculous, and
Well, it was very popular. People loved it, so it's worth 10 hours of your life, apparently.
It's kind of weird because I don't know how to grade it. I think it's only 4 hours. You're fine.
Is it only 4 hours? Aren't they an hour long? Is it half hour? How long is it?
I thought there were 8 episodes, 30 minutes each. I could be wrong though.
30. I don't know.
I have it pulled up right here. I could just look.
Huh.
All right, we got some beers to try.
Oh, we do. Let's see you set down a.
Hey, but wait a minute. I have to tell you all, since everyone got to pick a show. I guess it's just been Ricky picking the shows. But I do have to tell
That's how it
you a
works
show.
around here.
That's how it works. My bad.
Yes, apparently Ricky is the president, and we were not informed of the vote. No, what you've got, if you want to go to hell for watching a show on TV, this is your one.
Oh,
Do you all have HBO Max?
Negative.
I do.
Okay, you got to watch The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay. I've heard this before.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I've heard about
and
this.
it is so ridiculously irreverent. But it's really good. It's probably one of the best shows I've seen.
So what is it about?
It is a parody. Maybe not. That's what's kind of scary about it. But basically, they're taking kind of like a Tammy Faye Baker scenario. So they are this family in charge of this huge mega church, and of course it just the kids are screwed up, and it's so funny, and they're so ridiculous and over the top, but it is great. The sad thing is it's probably a little accurate, because obviously these people that run these mega $1 million churches are all most times full of shit, and they're just there for making money. But it is so
Stop
funny.
talking about Joel
so
Osteen
ridiculous.
like that.
Yes, it's kind of like that.
So the one of the radio stations I listened to, The Ticket, they were doing a bit where they were comparing the Jones family, the owners of the Dallas Cowboys, to the characters in The Righteous Gemstones. So I think I think if I watch it
probably.
now, that's going to make it even better because I've heard that. And who they compare like Jerry to and Steven to and Charlotte to.
Huh.
Oh, it's great.
I might be kind of excited about watching this one. I might start it this
You
weekend.
really do need to. I think it's like the second season came out this year, so it's one season, and of course that's the only thing about HBO Max is you have to wait every week, like old school, for the new episode. Whereas like on Netflix and Amazon Prime, it's like the whole season. You just get it all out of the way. So that's the only drawback. But
so you're a binge
it's great.
watcher. That's what it is.
Yes.
I think we've
Do
all
you
been.
know how nice it is not to have to plan your whole week around your TV shows?
Oh, I know.
Yes, I think we've all been converted to binge watchers because that's the best way to watch TV now.
It
is.
Like
it is.
There's a lot of shows that go ahead.
You can suck away valuable years of your life this way, but yes, it's great to be able to just know exactly what happened.
And no commercials. That's the thing.
That
I don't even know what commercials are on anymore.
I know.
Unless we're at the bar or something and we're watching a football game.
Live sports is the only time I see commercials.
Yeah. And you're like, really? They got this down? They've stuck to
Well,
this
how
shit?
irritating.
Like when they had when they had that Apple commercial with the snowman, I got to see it because I was at somebody's house watching a game. I was like, this is the greatest commercial ever.
That's funny.
Well, I'll have to find it because it is awesome.
I'm sure YouTube will, if you just YouTube it.
Do you know what commercial I'm talking about, Aliki?
No.
So.
Because you know why? I don't watch YouTube, which is the only exposure to commercials we get anymore.
No, this was during football games.
No, I did not see that one.
Okay, I was in Colorado for Thanksgiving watching one of the football games on Thanksgiving Day, and a commercial came on that said this is filmed with the Apple 13 Pro. Sorry, the iPhone 13 Pro. It's like, all right, and it shows
13,
shows this girl, she's built these snowmen, and then this they start melting or getting knocked over. So she takes the little one and she puts it in an ice chest, or she puts it in the freezer, keeps it all year long, takes a camping with her, puts it in an ice chest. Next winter comes back, it's snowing again. She puts it out there, and as soon as she puts the little snowman out there, a kid on his bike comes through and just plows it over and explodes. And right then I was like, I love this commercial because that's hilarious. I did not see it going this way. And then because she was already sad. Yeah, so the first one, there's a kid knocking them all down, and she's upset about it. That's why she saves a little bitty one, the little kid snowman. And so then as soon as she gets it back out there, she's happy, and that little bike comes over and just plows it through. And the explosion of snow just looks so funny and so hilarious, and the look in her face is like, you would not expect it to end this way. And then it ends all happy with the whole family out there building snowmen. But yes, I thought that was a great commercial. But that's the only time I see commercials during sporting events.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. It is the only time. We don't watch them at all. Which, you really kind of wonder where we get our advertising. And I guess it is all from the internet now, as far as like YouTube
social media,
or
like the Simpson
well,
Leon
for me, it's
podcast.
Candy Crush. Yeah. Me, it's Candy Crush.
Oh.
Or whenever you're on Facebook, the ads just pop up about things you were talking about, looking up, and stuff like that.
They're all listening.
Yeah, which actually disturbs me more than intrigues me. So it makes me very worried. I'm like, I knew it. I knew they were listening in.
I'll tell you what. I know Alexa and Siri talk to each other. I was once with my sister, and she told me about look, Siri's listening now.
Siri popped up on his phone.
They're like best friends.
So they got to be best friends. Because me and my sister were once talking about a show. She's like, you need to watch this show. A show called Travelers. If you haven't seen that, I'll tell you about that one. It's that one I really don't want to give spoilers. I don't care. It's an older show. And she was telling me about this show called Travelers. You should watch it. As soon as I get home, I turn on my Fire Stick with, that's all Alexa, and it pops up like, you should watch Travelers. Like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
So you think they visit in the cloud? Do you think they have lunch like in the cloud and talk to each other?
I think they have
lunch together.
They have wine together. They talk shit about me. It's like, oh yeah, let's fuck with him with this.
Yes.
But his sister was telling him about this. Let's make him watch it. And they did. They made me watch it.
My brother will be very disappointed to hear this because he said that Siri was the only woman in his life that was nice to him. So he's going to be very upset if he thinks that she's talking shit about him with Alexis. He's not going to like that at all.
I mean, at least she's nice to him to his face.
That's true. In that marriage?
Yeah, you just don't know what.
Are we all nice to you all into your face?
Okay. You just don't know what she's saying to everybody else. All right, so we have beers to try.
Oh.
I picked these up the other day from our local brewery, Martin House Brewing Company.
Yeah, they're the ones with the pickle beer that we love so much.
They were made in Texas by Texans. In Texas by Texans.
For Texans.
So this is called Sweet and Sour Plums.
Ooh.
It's a sour plum beer.
I'm not sure how I feel about this one.
Why? Because it says with lactose?
No, I didn't read that yet.
What?
But yeah.
So it's sour plum beer with lactose, which
what does that mean?
In the brewing process.
Is that milk?
Well, kinda. In the brewing process, when you're breaking down the sugar, sometimes it creates like a lactose type thing. So they have to put it on there for anybody who's lactose intolerant, so they'll know. It doesn't have a milky taste. It's not like a milky stout or anything like that.
Huh.
It just contains some form of lactose in the brewing process that if somebody's allergic to it, they need to know.
It says shake well before opening.
Does it really?
No. It's a beer. You don't want to shake it.
That was a funny trick. I like that.
Shelby would have gotten her.
7% alcohol by volume.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Strong. That's a real beer there.
The can's pretty neat. It's kind of psychedelic with purple, yellow.
It looks like the 70s.
green,
If I was alive then, I don't know.
with giant plum on there, holding
that's like
his belly.
200 years ago for you, Dustin.
Pretty much. It does smell smells plummy.
Smells plummy.
Sweet. It smells sweet.
I
don't know.
The plummy thing threw me off. I don't know if I've ever smelt the plum. I mean, I've eaten plums.
Alana's uncle makes
Then you smelt a plum.
plum jelly, and it's badass. I got some in there. If you want to smell it, maybe it'll smell like
Quite
a plum.
Possibly. Have you ever
Stick a
had
finger in it.
a green plum straight off the tree?
I have not.
Oh, so good.
No.
Like right before they turn purple and they're green. So they're kind of, that's probably what this tastes like. It's sour taste. That's, yeah.
Huh.
Put a little salt on it. No, you have to have a plum tree to do that. They don't like sell that in stores.
Yeah.
We did that when we were kids. Probably not good for us.
Probably not.
You know?
No.
Eating unripe fruit. Or, it's not
Yeah,
unripe.
it sounds like a
yet
bad
ripened.
case of the D's, and I don't mean Dallas.
I get what you mean. She means diarrhea.
Mm.
So, have either of y'all watched How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
I feel like I've seen some episodes back in the day.
What did you think of it? Did you like it?
Yes, I did like it.
We can
It
try
was
this
very
beer?
good.
Huh?
Are we going to try this
I'm waiting for
beer,
you to try it.
Figured. Then we went back into TV.
Yeah, well, go ahead and try it.
Well, I
can't-
feel like
Dustin's
we need like a
ready to
cheers
drink.
thing.
Okay,
I feel like we need to have something.
toast. Then
we need to have a
you
little-
toast your homies and the bar, but whatever.
Yeah.
We drink.
Well, I'm curious to see what this tastes like. So you need to tell me
It's
if it's
sour.
good.
It's sour.
Not sweet at all.
I don't taste sweet.
I don't taste any sweet. It smells sweet. It's a little tricky. It's like a Sour Patch Kid.
I guess there's a slight sweet taste to it, but yeah, it's sour. It's not sour enough.
Enough.
I could go more sour.
Need more sour than that?
Yeah.
Ooh, son. It's not as sour as the pickle beer, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think the pickle beer, I don't consider that sour. That's just pickle juice.
Ooh. No.
Does it taste like beer, or does it just taste like a sour candy?
It tastes like a sour candy.
Yeah.
I could get behind that.
Yeah. I think it's,
Yeah.
I like it. I have no complaints about this sour beer.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
That sounds good.
I could drink one.
I did say it could be more sour, but it's not really a complaint.
There's no way. I can't do it.
Okay, so How I Met Your Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you met her. She's your aunt.
Did you like that show?
Oh, the show.
I liked it. Yes, I loved Barney.
Yeah. That's Neil Patrick Harris.
His character. Yes,
So
I love that character. Yeah, I did. I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
Huh.
Yeah, he's a good character. Most of those characters were pretty good. They had a good
Yes.
connection. So there's a
They
new
did.
show on Hulu, which you don't have Hulu.
But it's How I Met Your Father.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen the previews.
Can they get away with that?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like it's made by the same people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
about to say,
it's all
somebody
about
else
the
has picked it up.
Benjamins.
And
You can get away with anything.
Yeah,
for enough money.
and
let's do one How I Met Your Sister. How
I'm
about
pretty
that?
sure it's on. It might be on network TV as well, the same network it was on before, which I don't remember if it was
I think it
NBC or CBS.
CBS. I'm
Was it
pretty sure.
CBS?
Nobody wants.
CBS.
No man wants to watch a show. How I Met Your Sister. That just probably wouldn't go over so.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
They
weird. but
probably wouldn't dig
it's
that.
like some
Yeah, like
Arkansas
oh.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably is not good. Yeah.
Happened at the Wichita. Met her in the Wichita River out there.
So there's only
Like eight season episodes on incest. I don't think would not probably
Jesus Christ.
How I
be
Met
the
Your
best show.
How I Met Your Sister / Mother.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
How I Met Your Brother Uncle.
And we're brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
That sounded a whole lot of Eastern Kentucky there, gentlemen.
Oh man, I kind of want to make this show.
Don't know.
So there's only like 4 episodes of the new show out, How I Met Your Father, and I don't want to say I don't like it. It's just
It's just not the same.
it's not the same. It's just I feel like I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. I should have thought about this before I brought it up.
Yeah.
And the other show might have done the same thing. They might have focused too much on things going on in the present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like that show was more of friends just hanging out in a bar and going doing stuff together, eating sandwiches. And, they'll every time they talk about eating sandwiches, they were talking about smoking pot.
Okay.
But it's the dad telling the kids how they met their mother. So something about How I Met Your Mother. At the end, it's basically him telling his kids, oh, and Bob Saget was the narrator.
Oh, fuck.
Did y'all see his cause of death?
Yes, I did.
Isn't that so fucking sad?
It is.
It was. I know.
Yeah.
God, didn't that happen to Liam Neeson's wife? She hit her head getting off the ski lift and then went home and
That's
died.
right. I remember hearing about that.
I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
it,
horrible.
these
No
stories
alcohol,
kinda
no drugs.
Scare me.
Yeah, no alcohol, no drugs.
Nothing in the system.
Like at first they thought it
Thank
was
God.
maybe a
Thank
stroke or something. Yeah.
God we can have one person that we idolize pass away and not find out he was a total jackass. It's very nice to have that. So I was very glad.
Yeah, especially when everybody came out talking about him, all the other comedians, like how great a guy he is, how he's
Yes,
just so
I was like,
loving.
oh, we're gonna find out he's like some sort of heroin addict that had like women locked under the stairs or something.
no,
Here we
He
go.
just hit his head.
He just hit his head.
But
And,
unless
go to
that
sleep.
story is a little sour, but I doubt.
I don't think you can just put out fake information like that. It's public record.
Oh,
right?
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about nobody knows how he hit his head. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they said he was also in bed under the covers.
Yeah.
Like he went to sleep. But you're right.
I mean,
Well, he
could've-
probably it's
could have had
it
a
sounds like
rager
he
or
just
something.
fell.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I said.
So the end of
A
that
rager.
the end of that show, How I Met Your Mother, you basically realize it's him telling his 2 kids about all the women he hooked up with before he met their mother.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's a very odd thing. So in the very first episode of How I Met Your Father, and so it's filmed kind of differently because they actually show the lady talking.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with her in her condo talking to a camera, or not talking to a camera. She's talking basically on speakerphone with her glass of wine, telling her son the story over the phone. And she starts off like, "This is gonna be," because the kid was like, "Can't you just tell me how y'all met? I already know the story." Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know anything else. Like, no, we're gonna go through the path of all the guys I hooked up with on the way.
Oh shit!
I was like, okay,
Because that's always necessary.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny that they just put it out there right at the very beginning. And
Right.
the kid's like, have you been drinking? He's like, I've had a couple of glasses, and then goes on to tell the story. So I like the concept. At first, when I saw that, I was like, that's kind of cheesy. But then I was like, all right, that's pretty funny, because a big criticism that How I Met Your Mother had is like, all you're doing is telling these kids stories about all the women you hooked up with.
Right.
And she just comes
All your
out
conquest.
at the very beginning and says she's doing that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got a neat cast characters. So I don't know if I recommend it
But
or not.
you know, sometimes it's like you already been there, done that.
Yeah. And it starts off with the main girl going on a Tinder date, like someone she met on Tinder, and she gets in an Uber. That's how she meets the two other guys, because the Uber driver is also taking his friend to a bar because he's going to propose to his girlfriend, some silliness like that. And these two guys live in the apartment that Marshall and what's his name lived in.
Oh, okay.
So
they continue with that.
Yeah, it ties back to that. It's like, yeah, we got this from this older couple that they're moving out to the country. They haven't left these swords above the fireplace for us. So it's neat that it has that tie-in. But
yeah, that it kind of
But for the most part, I don't think it's meant for my generation to enjoy as much. Yet I'm still watching it. Like the new episode came out this week, and I'm like, I might as well.
It's kind of like I watched the reboot of Sex and the City. Because that was something I liked watching when I was younger, and it's not the same, but yet you're oddly fascinated with it, kind of like a train wreck.
Is that the same characters? Like the same actresses?
It is the same actresses. There is one, Samantha, which was kind of the slutty one that kind of made it funny and tied them all together, but I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the same. You know, I feel like the first Sex and the City was just unapologetic fun. You know, they were who they were, and they weren't busy learning a lesson or becoming better people. They were just living their best life, kind of like what you do in your 20s. You know, whatever, you're just living your best life.
Yeah, you don't care about the results.
No. Yeah.
Or that
like you're going to live for 5,000 years, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then I felt like on this one, it was almost like the writers went back and they were trying to apologize for how shallow their 20-year-old characters were. And it's like, but that was the point, you know? And so then this one became like this big, you know, one thing, I don't mind watching a movie and learning, air quote, learning something from it. I just don't like to be beat over the head. Like, you're so stupid. I had to say this so obviously. And that's what it kind of felt like this was. It was like, we're going to bring up every social injustice that Sex and the City the first time, you know, skated over, and we're just going to throw it in your face. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It was okay. But I watched every one, and I'll watch the next season too, I'm sure.
What do you think is the weirdest show y'all have watched? Like just something way out there that it's hard to even justify watching it.
Well, that's the problem. I get in a little bit, and if I know it's not something I'm gonna go with.
No, I'm talking about something you actually liked, you enjoyed, but it's
Dark.
I don't know.
Dark? Is that a show, or are you saying the show's dark?
No, it was Dark. I think it was called Dark. It was on Netflix, and it was time travel. It was like a I think it was made in Sweden, maybe Sweden or Denmark, one of those. And so it was dubbed with English. You didn't have to read the subtitles, but it was dubbed.
Oh, I can't do it.
But it was really good. But it was like this town.
Hold on, Dustin. Why can't you do that? She said it was dubbed in English. You didn't have to read subtitles.
You don't have to, but their mouths still aren't
Their
moving
mouths
the
don't
way.
match up?
I don't know.
You're right.
So would you rather have it
pretty well?
Would you rather have it in the original language and have to read?
I would not. You're right.
Yeah.
No, I mean
it wasn't like Godzilla.
Yeah, I can't get down with it.
All right, sorry to interrupt. What was the show about?
So anyway, the show was about time travel, but this whole little community was they discovered this door, and you would go through this cave and you would go to the same town, and I think it was like in 30-year increments or something. But the point is that people were accidentally transporting to the future into the past. But when someone would go into the past, they would create a scenario that made the future. So what was happening was your brain was starting to hurt. Like it was actually starting to melt and come out my nose as I was watching it because I was getting so confused because all these characters would go back and they get stuck back there. So then would get married and have children that in the future would become someone that married it just got so confusing. It was so weird. So lost. You like had to write the cast, but it was actually kind of cool at the same time. But it was probably the weirdest show I've seen.
Okay, see, I think that sounds fascinating because of a show called Travelers that I watched. I was kind of telling you about. So Travelers is also a time travel show, but it's somewhat different. Like they don't actually travel in time, but they end up traveling through time by taking over someone like. They don't take over.
Okay, was this the one with the nuclear power plant?
I don't think so.
Or the plane, or they were trying to blow something up. I think I've seen.
Yeah. At some point, they're definitely trying to blow stuff up, but they take over. Somebody's about to die, and whoever's from the future comes and takes over that body and keeps them from dying.
Yes.
So regardless of how they were going to die, it's like one guy's a super old man, like, and way in the future comes back in his teenager's body. So he's super smart. He has all this experience, but he looks like a kid.
Yes.
And every time a new person comes in, they say welcome to the 21st because it's 21st century. And they're trying to save the future. They're trying to save the future, and I don't think they succeed.
Yeah.
What century are we in right now?
21st.
Still?
Yeah.
You sure?
100%.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember the 22nd century coming through. That would have been a party or something for that, wouldn't there have been?
I would think so.
Yeah, there probably would have been. Yeah, we're in the 21st.
Yeah.
You sure?
100% sure.
Okay.
Are you not?
Could question it, but
I mean, if you want to question it, question it.
I don't. We're about to see. I'd like to know.
You're fact checking, huh?
I'm going to fact check this.
You're going to fact check that we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Okay.
When does the 22nd begin? Was the 22nd century
at the
begin?
end of the century?
Okay. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is a little confusing. It's 2020 and we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
It
is a little confusing.
It's not.
Think of it. Dustin, how old? Well, now you're making me think about it.
See?
But it is the 21st century.
You sure?
Now you're confused too. See, it's not clear cut. You thought it was, but it's really not when you start thinking about it.
I think it's pretty clear cut.
So when is it going to become the 22nd century? What year?
2100.
And see why? That should be the 21st century. I'm with Dustin on this. It is a little odd.
It's not odd. The first century was 0 to 99.
The what?
The first century was 0 to 99.
Okay.
So when you're 1 year old, you've lived longer than 1 year.
What?
When you turn 1 year old,
okay,
you've now lived longer
than 1 year.
My
brain is melting.
Okay.
So when you've had 20 centuries, we've already had 20 centuries. So now we're in our 21st century.
Okay.
Like you're 29 right now.
Yeah.
Once you turn 30, you're in your 31st year of life.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But you don't know because when you turn 30,
in your 30th year of life.
You're all confused now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching Dark again.
You turn 30 because you've lived 30 years already. So you're in your 31st year of life.
Okay.
There, that's only.
Oh, I got you.
But
I got you. I got you.
I get it, but you don't say it like that. You say I'm 30. You don't say I'm in my 31st year of life.
You don't say that, but you do say that when you ask what century we're in.
I guess.
Like, okay, let's go with decades. What decade are we in?
What decade are we in?
Yeah.
The 20s. Okay, 2020.
This one confuses me too.
2022. 2022.
2012.
2012.
It's 2011.
Okay. Y'all went down a weird road.
I know. It was my fault.
It's 100% the 21st century, but now I feel dumber for knowing that.
It is the 21st
now
century.
we sound like a bunch of idiots. Is what we sound
decade,
like.
The second, third decade. I don't know.
What decade are we in?
What decade are we in? The 20s. We're in the 20s.
We're in the 20s.
But is it the third decade of the 21st
We're in the
2020s? Is it the third decade of the 21st century?
What?
It's the third millennium.
Okay.
That's all I got. Centuries.
That makes sense because once we hit the year 2000, we're in the third millennium.
Yeah. So we're in. So because you have
Okay,
the
that one's
2000,
probably lost too.
the 2010s, and now we're in the 2020s.
Which is the third decade of the 21st century.
Yes.
So we're technically, it's the 20s, but it's the third decade of the 21st century.
Yes.
Of the third millennium.
Yes. That's confusing
Exactly.
as shit.
Golly.
Yes, it is.
We really
understand
took a toll on that
a
one.
word you just said.
I don't know how that
And
got
you questioned me. You were like, really?
I was right, though.
you
and now
right.
I feel like I've proven facts, and we got it down to science, and we know why it's right.
Okay, Joe.
No, I think you are spin doctoring us. Is what I think's happening. You have no clue what you're talking
You
about.
100% agreed with
such
me.
authority. We're on. Because I have no choice.
But then she confused herself, and we all confused her.
Yeah. And the bad thing is I'm on my phone, so I can't fact check right
Why
now.
not?
See, if I were not on my
I'm
phone,
on my phone.
I would. No, you have the microphone. I can't put this on speaker and check like I usually do.
I thought
you don't have your
earbuds.
headset?
No, I'm just holding my phone, old fashioned.
Oh, so you're gonna have a tired arm. Have you been switching
I'm
ears?
gonna get tired.
No, I don't. I talk on the phone for hours and I'm good.
Hold
that
on.
makes sense.
Ricky,
I'm a woman. I'm a
which,
woman.
Which ear do you think she uses, right or left?
Are you asking me, or are you all taking a guess?
No. Ricky's taking a guess.
I'm taking a guess.
Okay.
You said you haven't switched ears, or you do switch ears?
Well,
I do switch ears.
Oh, so that doesn't matter.
But
then.
no.
What's your main
I'm
ear?
ambidextrous phone user.
But let's think about this. Whenever you answer the phone, I'm going to say you answer it with your right hand to the right ear.
You are correct when I answer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
However,
you're more dominantly
for some
right-handed.
reason,
She's on the left ear right now.
No, I am on the right ear, but I, for some reason, spend a lot of time on the left. I don't know why.
Huh. Interesting. I feel like I hear better out of my left ear.
I don't know. I hear the phone better. It's weird to me if I have it on the left ear.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do know
This
that whenever
sounds a lot.
I had my headset on, like with being a cap and had it in one ear, that it was always in my left ear so that I could hear with my right ear. And if I was on the phone, it would go on my right ear. Oh, that's kind of weird.
I just don't like talking on the phone.
Well, I know, and that's why whenever I get phone calls from you, it's weird.
It's got to be important. You know, it's got to be important. Yeah. I have something important to say.
Last time you called me, you said, remind me of something. I don't think I reminded you.
See,
You're on your way home from here.
On my way home from here?
Yes, because I was like, oh, shit, something's happened.
Oh, it was editing the, when we kept saying her name. Or when I kept saying her name.
Okay.
And I was like, since you gave us permission, I think I'll just leave it in there completely.
Oh, yes.
You know, I want to run that fight, but then I just ended up putting the beep in there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't listened back to it.
Yeah.
I really need to do that.
You should.
I'm sorry.
This is a good one.
I've been listening to Rogan.
With your right ear, because you'll hear it better.
Yeah, listen with your right ear.
When I have my AirPods in, the right one's always better.
Okay, I watched an insane show once. It's a few seasons long. It's called Documental. Do you know it? Have either of y'all heard of this show?
Negative.
It's a Japanese show, and it's 100% in Japanese, so you have to read subtitles.
I'm out.
Which I normally would be out as well, but I gave it a shot, and I'm glad I did.
Huh.
So they take 10 comedians. They're all Japanese comedians. They put them in a room together, and they're not allowed to laugh.
Okay.
And they all pay in. So they don't use American dollars. We're going to use American dollars. So basically, all pay in $10,000.
I'm assuming they did not use American dollars.
Well, I know.
They don't even speak English on the show.
I'm using American dollars just because
in Japan with
Japanese.
Gotcha.
So basically, what it comes down to is they all buy in $10,000 to be on the show.
Damn. Okay.
And the winner gets all the money back.
Okay.
So you're investing $10,000 to possibly win $100,000.
Okay.
And your goal is to make everybody else laugh while you can't laugh.
Right. And
once you laugh, there's a host, and you hear the host and kind of other people, like not an audience, but maybe like part of the show in the background, they laugh too. And so they're in a room that has a kitchen, like a big kitchen table, like a dining table, a small little sitting area. Then they have a back locker room where they can go like change clothes, put costumes on, put other stuff on.
Right.
And the whole goal is to try to make other people laugh so they get kicked out. So the first time you get caught laughing, you get a card. You get a yellow card, then an orange card, then a red card. Once you get the red card, you're done.
Huh.
Then you're out. Now you have to go and just watch the show.
Okay.
So in season 2 or 3, they were allowed to come back in as a ghost.
Okay.
And if they could make everybody laugh, then they get their money back.
Huh.
So I don't know. They do. It's not just like you have to read the comedy. Even if you didn't read and know what they're saying, a lot of it's funny just by what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like I can't. One guy puts like a balloon over his head, starts blowing it up, and it's such simple comedy. But when you're trying not to laugh,
yeah, it's
and
funny.
everybody around you is being, and they're all stand-up comedians. They're all comedians.
Yeah.
So everybody around you is trying to be funny, but also not laugh themselves.
Yeah.
Because once you're actually get entertained by somebody, you start laughing at yourself at the same time.
Wrote.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to watch. Like that first, they start like one guy every time he started laughing, he would take a drink of water, and then he was just holding water bottle up to his mouth, and they're like, "You can't do that anymore. That's completely cheating."
That is cheating.
And then so, and there's a timer. I think they're in there for 6 hours, so every episode's an hour long, and you basically see everything that happens, and it is. I mean, I wish they could find a way to do this here, to where it's all in English, because I think that would be hilarious.
Huh.
Just put a bunch of good stand-up comedians in there and tell them you can't laugh. If you do, you could win $1 million or whatever. But yeah, that's one of the weirdest shows I've ever watched.
Miserably at that. Yeah, because I crack myself up.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I would have a red card immediately the second I tried to make anyone else laugh, because I'd be laughing at myself.
Oh, and as soon as they start smiling, that's a card.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't even like start smiling because that's too much of a laugh. Because you can make somebody laugh by smiling at someone else's. You know what I mean? Like you use that as a weapon. So they ban that pretty quickly. It's like, no, you start smiling, we're gonna nab you on it.
That's it. Yeah.
And there was one guy that he just bursted out laughing, and when they stop the time, the guy hits his button, comes in there, host hits his button, comes in there, and he just explains like, I just felt like we were just normal, just talking, and I forgot we were on this competition show.
Shit. Oh, he screwed it up.
Yeah, they cook food, and they always do something funny with cooking food. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime, documental.
Huh.
You do have to read the subcaption. I actually thought I was learning Spanish Japanese once. I thought I was learning Japanese.
That's so weird. These Japanese men are speaking Spanish. How odd.
So I could understand red, yellow, and orange just because they say that the most. And so I caught on to those. I couldn't say them, but I could understand them.
So you learned something at the same time. It was like a kind of educational.
Yeah, but then one time I was cooking, and it was playing in the background. I thought they were talking about Christmas. I'm like, I think I might know a little bit of Japanese because they're clearly talking about Christmas. Then I went back and watched it. No, I was way off.
Oh, way off.
There was they weren't saying Santa Claus.
Oh shit.
They weren't talking about Christmas. So that's my super crazy show that I've watched.
That was your super crazy show. There are some, you can definitely go down a rabbit hole, because when you watch it, the most interesting, when you watch a movie and then it comes to an end, they immediately will say, if you like this, then you'll like this.
Yeah.
And then you go to this movie, and so you can really go down a rabbit hole of weirdo movies if you really pay attention and kind of just keep going down the suggestion list.
Yeah. Dustin, I think I told you this. I also recently watched Married with Children again.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, like, tell me you've watched that.
Of course, yes. Christina Applegate,
yes.
And I love Married
Ed
with
O'Neill,
Children.
Katie Seagal.
Yes.
David Faustino. That show.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times you watch a show from the late 80s, 90s when you're younger, and when you go back and watch it, it just doesn't hold up. It's like the humor's not there. But, you know, when I
Wait a minute. Don't pick on the 80s. Let me tell you something. There's nothing better than the 80s.
Oh, I'm not.
Everything about it is perfect.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying there's sometimes you go back and watch a movie or something, it's like, I thought this was better than this. This is kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
So when I was watching Married with Children, I was between like ages of, I don't know, 9 and 12, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fairly young, but I still love that show.
Yeah.
And watching it now, it's even better now than it was then. Like there's jokes that I never understood back then because, you know, I was a kid. I wasn't thinking of it like they were. The whole bit of Al Bundy never wanting to have sex with his wife.
You weren't disappointed by life yet, or Feels
Yeah.
like your job was dead end, and yeah, you definitely
And then
can identify with him a little more.
And then Al Bundy is just a miserable guy who, I don't know, but
Yes.
he's a miserable guy that is still somehow happy. If that
Yes.
makes any sense at all. He's got his TV and that's
Well,
all he really cares about.
Yeah. Hand down the pants and
Yeah.
good TV show with the beers, all we needed.
Do you remember his favorite TV show?
I don't. I'm trying to think of it, but I don't remember. I guess I never really. What was he watching?
Psycho
Was it
Dad.
football? Psycho Dad.
Psycho Dad. He was always singing the theme song, and yeah, the theme song.
That was a good show. You know, my fiance works with a guy, and he looks just like Al Bundy. Bundy. Every time I see him, it cracks me up.
That's funny.
He's nothing like him, I will say that, but he definitely looks like him.
Early on, he built a bathroom, and I remembered him building a bathroom in his garage.
Yeah.
Like I remember that being like an episode that I remember because he had his toilet, and he's like, "Wow, whoosh!" And then when I went back and watched, he was building it, and Peggy started asking him, I was like, "Where? You don't even have a sink in here?" He's like, "Yeah, because it's a man's bathroom. I don't need a sink."
Huh.
Yeah, I need to wash my hands.
Yeah, and it was in his garage. Then he had his little group of guys that they made their own little club called No Ma'am.
No, man.
It's such
You can't get away with that anymore.
No.
You don't get away with that anymore.
It's such a silly show, but so funny.
Yes.
So
yes,
funny.
That was a good one.
Want to talk about any? Oh, geez, talking about Bob Saget. I went back and watched Half Baked.
Okay.
Do either of y'all know that movie?
No.
No, I have not watched that.
Okay, it's a weed movie, but most weed movies are kind of just dumb and lame. This one's really, I think it's really well written and has a lot of really funny spots in it. It's got Dave Chappelle. Shoot, I can't think of his name.
Then it has to be good. If Dave Chappelle's in it, it's got to be good.
No idea.
Goatman from Saturday Night Live. Jim Brewer. Dave Chappelle, Jim Brewer. Can't think of the other guy's name, but it's got a good cast. And the premise is one of their buddies goes to jail because they got high. He went out and bought snacks and ended up feeding snacks to a police horse, and the police horse ended up dying. And so
I'm gonna have to watch it.
So he got charged for murder of a policeman. So he's in jail, and like he's Chong is in this movie in jail as well, and he ends up being Chong's bitch, which saves him from this other guy trying to rape him. And then when he's talking to his friends, like, y'all got to get me out of here, man. They just don't give me enough respect that I deserve more respect as a cop killer. Because
a horse.
So then they start selling pharmaceutical drugs that Dave Chappelle gets at the hospital he works at. He's a janitor, and they start selling it to get the money to bail him out of jail. And it becomes a whole thing. It's a very funny, well written movie. But while they're trying to sell it, Dave Chappelle ends up quitting smoking weed because he met this girl named Mary Jane, oddly enough, who so he's going to quit for her, but he has trouble, so he goes to like a rehab meeting, and that's when Bob Saget stands up and says, "You're addicted to weed? You don't get addicted to weed. I suck dick for cocaine. Have you ever sucked dick for weed?" Just the way Bob Saget says it is like, okay, that's pretty great. That's that made me think of Half Baked, but yeah, that's one I would recommend. It's a well written movie, very fun.
I like that one. I'm trying to think any other good. Super Bad, but that wasn't really a weed movie.
No, they're trying to get beer and get laid.
It's kind of a coming of age movie. That was a good one.
That one has a lot of good fun lines that were repeated by all of my friends.
Yeah, Box of Dicks. That was a good one.
What's he say to Jules when he tells her he's gonna buy alcohol for her party, and she's like, "Okay, yeah, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours." Like, funny thing about my back, Jules, it's located on my cock.
Yes.
Oh, I love stupid movies.
We haven't heard any of your movies.
I know, because Ricky just likes to take it away. He's the movie. I'll tell you, whenever I sit down and watch TV, it's either Ozark. I mean, I want to get into something good. Like we're watching the 1883 right now. I really like that.
Well, I've heard that's excellent.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
I've heard it's very good. Someone said it's better than Yellowstone. Do you think it is?
No, it's not better than Yellowstone, but it's
okay.
It is up there. It's
still pretty good.
I like the fact that it was filmed in Fort Worth and it's filmed around here, pretty close. In Weatherford,
Granbury.
Granbury, Weatherford. It's still being filmed over here.
So you don't ever watch like silly movies?
Well, I watched it. You were talking about the shows that don't have.
So Aliki before Dustin tells the story.
Lord.
Oh no! Go ahead.
I was just saying I watched Squid Games, and that one was not in English.
I didn't watch
never.
that one. Yeah.
I couldn't find myself able to watch it and get into it.
See, that's weird because I figured you would.
But I never started it. It just.
Oh really?
Just looking at it and the synopsis of it, it didn't seem like I would like it.
I think you would like it.
Was it as awesome as they said it was? Did it deserve the number one spot on the top 10 list?
It did not deserve the number one spot, but it was a good show.
Why do you think I would like it?
It was pretty good.
I think you'd get hooked on it to figure out what happens in the end.
Okay, so kind of like a mystery thing to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, mystery.
Kind of weird and quirky.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Leaky.
Oh, here we go.
Have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh Lord.
Yes. Yes, that's a work of art.
Apparently, I'm Napoleon. That's what everybody. It's not the first. He's not the first one to say it.
With that dance,
he won't be the last.
As good as him.
So, something you know about Dustin when he was a kid, he had big old teeth. I mean, it runs in our family.
Let's just call me out on that shit. My God. Now that I started drinking beer, my face filled in a little bit. Jesus.
I was talking about your teeth when you were a kid.
I know. Yeah, now.
And then he would always sigh at us, and I distinctly remember him. Gosh, idiots.
I don't think I ever said it that way.
I have actually heard you use the same way of speaking, saying "gosh" as he did. Now that you say this, Ricky, okay.
So I think when I saw Napoleon Dynamite, it just added on the idiot to everything. Every time Dustin ever said "gosh," and like he doesn't look like Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, I used to.
No,
he could.
I for sure
did.
Hair. Well, no, but we had the same facial features.
Yeah, same facial features. If he never had braces, he could easily pull off a look-alike. So I've always wanted him to learn the dance that Napoleon does.
Yeah,
because I think that would be so great.
I will say this too. Alana had a poster of Napoleon Dynamite in her room when she was in high school.
Oh.
Something there.
She's living out her fantasy. She is living out her fantasy.
Oh, please. Don't give her
I
that
have to watch
credit.
Ozark to live out my fantasy. But she got to marry her.
She got to marry hers. So you don't ever watch, Dustin, you don't ever watch silly movies?
No, I'm more into crime shit. And
okay, you don't take any pleasure in any of the Jackass movies? None of them?
Oh, I know I'll talk to you about this.
I think I've seen a couple. I'm not sure if I've seen them all the way through or not, but
they're great.
I guess not.
Okay, so Leaky, you like the Jackass movies?
Oh yeah.
While we were on our way to see Tom a couple weeks ago, I brought up the Jackass movies, and she said she didn't really care for them. She's like, I think that's just a guy thing. I was like, no, it's not just a guy thing for sure.
No, it's not.
And you've proven my point. It's definitely not just a guy thing.
Now, I will say I'm very immature with my humor. I will admit that, but I think they're funny. Now, I don't get into it so much when they're like drinking some really nasty stuff. Like they kind of started getting seriously gross when it's like, okay, it was funny when they put the, Hot Wheel up the rectum and then went in and got an x-ray and asked what was wrong. I mean, that was funny, but
rest in peace, Ryan.
Yeah, that was a good one. But then there was a few scenes I was like, okay, you might be going too far with some of the gross stuff. But
the poopy
that's,
volcano.
I think, when drugs.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll get into the Jackasses.
They just do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And it starts
off.
Well,
I think drugs started kind of playing a little part in some of their choices, and that's where things went a little south.
Yeah.
But their jokes were great. Like their practical joking was great.
Yeah. Dustin, what do you think of the beer now?
Honestly, the more I drink it, the more I like it.
Really? Yeah. I think the more I drink it, the less I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what you didn't bring this week?
Oh, I did not bring the slurps.
Slurps? Yeah.
I did not bring slurps.
Oh, God.
Dang it.
the gas station
Jello
shots.
shots.
Are
Hey.
they still on those things?
Oh yeah.
Last week
They're the
we
shiz.
had the frozen ones, and the frozen ones are really good.
Yeah, frozen.
I mean,
ones.
they're the same ones.
It was
They're
a
just
game
frozen.
changer. Yeah, we just put it in the freezer.
And you freeze them, so it's like a little
Slushy.
malt beer popsicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so good.
It was good.
Nothing to complain about on this side of the table.
Nope.
I don't know. I think I would like to try that beer. Now, do you just have one type of beer to try, or is there another one?
Today?
Yes.
Just this one.
Just this one. Okay.
Yeah. I have one for you if you want it.
I would love it. Hand it over.
I'll send it over. I'll text it to you.
Yeah.
There you go.
but
There
you're
you
on
go.
your
UPS it out.
Oh yeah, you're on your phone. You can't get a text.
Oh, that's right.
So-
I can't receive pictures either.
You asked earlier if we if this tastes like beer or just candy.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Well, or sour candy.
Or sour sour candy. So do you not like beer?
I do like beer. I don't mind beer. Beer is kind of like sometimes like if it's like a really hot day and you're in the water, beer tastes good. But if I go to a restaurant I will get a seltzer or I'll get a mixed drink. So beer is kind of maybe situational, if you want to say that.
Yeah, I think beer tastes good at any time, anywhere.
Yep. I
Yeah,
love beer
see,
so much.
I'm not,
And I
yeah, I'm not the fan like that.
I quit beer almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just on and off on it.
Yeah. He
Because
stopped
I'm
drinking
trying to-
beer when he
You
got
quit-
back from
I'm
Mexico.
trying to lose my weight so that whenever I turn 30, that I
Oh.
got the 6-pack and look really
Did-
really nice going into 30.
Yeah, because when you put on your Napoleon outfit
my Napoleon
on
suit.
Valentine's Day,
Whoa,
Doing
whoa,
the
whoa.
dance.
Valentine's Day is coming up too soon. No,
So, well, you know,
You got 4 days. You're fine.
4 days.
just dim the lights. You'll be good.
We're going to Del Frisco's for Valentine's Day.
Ooh, yum. We have one of those here.
They're
Probably
good.
gonna
It's
Yeah.
really good.
probably gonna go to B Dubs.
Yes.
B-dubs.
B-dubs.
We already talked about
Very-
B-dubs last week.
Yeah.
That's a pretty accurate statement that guy wrote.
100%. Especially the one
Are
here.
your is your B-dubs any good? Because ours have gone
Oh,
to hell and back.
So the
yes.
one in Burleson is the absolute worst.
Worst.
And I love B Dubs.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time. Before I could even drink, I was going there with Ricky.
Yeah. Like when I was in Colorado and places for like kickball, I would always go to a B Dubs. Just anywhere we go. When I go to see my brother and sister-in-law, my sister and brother-in-law, however that works. Whenever I go visit them, we normally go to B Dubs the first night I get there. I love that place. But the one here is just terrible. You get bad service. The food is
Yeah.
never consistent.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
ours is bad too.
They don't bring out the food, so by the time you get it, it's normally cold.
yeah. And then your beer sits
Yeah.
there empty forever.
Yeah. Now the one in Mansfield, that one's still really good.
See, I've
which
heard
is
that one's
close
pretty good.
enough. Yeah. That's where. Yeah, I like going there much better than the one here.
Bathroom.
So a couple of years ago, me and a couple of friends were there on Valentine's Day.
Oh
It was
shit.
me, Jay Lee, and Holly.
So this is when you're going Valentine's Day this year. Is that your
Yeah.
tradition?
It has been for the last few years.
Okay.
Just because it's worked out.
Okay.
It's-
Because nobody fucking goes
Nobody
there.
goes there. It works out.
Exactly. You have the whole place to
Yeah.
yourself, and
Like-
it costs under
Yeah.
$15.
Cheesecake
I'm-
Factory, you're waiting outside.
I'm
B-dubs.
90% last year when we got there. They told us, yeah, all our machines are down, so it's going to be cash only.
Oh shit.
So that's how bad our B-dubs was gotten. So a few years ago, we were there on Valentine's Day, and you know where the bathrooms are, Dustin?
Yeah. I've
So-
been there a time too.
There's that ledge that goes on
Yes,
the other
yes.
side.
I know what story you're about to tell.
Yeah, I'm sitting with my back to the
Yeah.
bathrooms. Holly's sitting in front of me. Jay Lee's next to her,
Yeah.
and you know how they come with their like bullhorn? They'll play something like for when it's up like a birthday,
Yeah. Or somebody's doing
Uh-huh.
the Blazing
or somebody does a blazing challenge. So
Yes.
I hear what I thought was that, and then I see Holly jump on the ground and duck under the table.
like a tornado drill.
And then I turned them, and then I hear someone yelling, "Get the fuck down! Get down! Get down right now!" And I turn to my
What?
left, and there are 6 cops with their guns drawn to a guy on the floor, and 2 other guys running into the men's bathrooms. Like, well, they're kind of trapped there now because there's
Yeah.
no way out once you go that
What?
way. Yes, and
Yeah. All went down to
Oh.
B-dubs.
yeah. So then, like 4 or 5 other officers come around the other side of the restaurant. Like so we're right by the edge on the side where the bathroom is. They come around the other side of the bar, circle back around. So now we're all surrounded by cops pointing their guns to this guy right behind me. They're like, "What the hell is going on here?" One guy
And
pinned
what
on the
do
ground.
you have to do to make that a safe, like a good decision? So what in the world was he guilty of?
Yeah, why are you going to Buffalo or B-Dubs? Why are you going to B-Dubs at this time of your life where you're running from the
Yes.
you're running from
Yeah.
the cops, and these weren't just like normal like Burleson officers. These
No,
are the
these
ones,
Yeah.
the ones in cowboy hats.
Fort Worth.
They had like they're the
Tarrant County.
they're the
And
county.
long dusters.
You're
Yeah,
So
well, they
there's
didn't have
two
long
counties.
dusters, but they had like
Yeah.
the brown button-up shirts that are like nice.
like Texas Rangers, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah. So then the
Troopers.
cops that come running around the other side go into the bathroom, pull two other guys out there. So now we have three guys in cuffs on the ground right behind me.
Gun still out.
Gun still out, and Holly's still under the table.
Under the table.
She is still under the table, and then
What a chicken.
I'm just sitting there watching this whole thing happen, literally within 1 foot of me.
As he eats his chicken
Like,
wings.
oh no, hold on. So we're sitting at the tall tables. 2 tables over from us, there's one of those short tables. It's in
The
the bar
handicap
area.
table,
yeah.
yeah.
And there's this guy sitting there. They're just sitting there, like nothing's happening right behind him. He had the same situation with me. All this
Not
happening
worried
right behind
about
him, and he's just eating his wings like, this ain't nothing. I see this all the time.
Yeah.
Just chomping on these wings. And Burleson is not known for stuff like this to happen. So granted, we're right on the edge of Fort Worth, but still that area.
doesn't happen in
B-Dubs is
too
technically
many
Fort Worth.
B-Dubs.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't happen
there's-
in too many B-Dubs.
Yeah, that's because, in my opinion, when you come with guns blazing, like full up, whatever you're after is so heinous and so bad that if you take out a few, people, it's okay. It's like justified. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, what the hell did he do to traumatize everybody in that
Nobody's
restaurant
getting
and have
taken
it
out. Nobody was
okay.
going to get taken
I
out.
think that I don't think he had any weapons on him, so they were just I don't know. It didn't matter. But
Okay, now you have to explain something to me. Who is
Okay.
Holly? Who
she's,
is Holly to you?
she's a very close friend of mine. She's a friend of my
Okay, and
family's.
then so she's so close to you that she ducked and left you standing and
Yeah.
didn't give you a warning.
That's Holly.
Yeah, that's how close she is to me.
She's like every man for himself.
She's
Now, who is Jalen? Is this who? is
Jay
it?
Lee, our buddy Jeremy. I've known him since I was
Oh, okay.
I've known him since I was about 6 years old. We grew up together.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is not a romantic date
Oh,
that
no.
you're on.
There's
No,
nothing
no,
romantic
concept.
going on at
No,
B-Dubs.
no.
Okay.
No, no,
Well, I mean,
we're just
I
there
had a
with
guy
friends.
take me to Arby's on a date once, so
Hey.
it's always possible.
He had
always
the
Arby's.
meats.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Holy-
Okay.
Are you comparing that to Tommy? Okay, so as they're pulling these kids
Arby's
up
sauce.
and walking away, I see this when the first kid that was coming through was going down. He took his cell phone out and put it on the ledge right behind me. So I tell one of the officers, like, do y'all want to take his phone or just going to leave that here? And they're like, that's his phone. He's like, yeah, y'all didn't see him set it down?
No.
Like, he literally
Exactly.
just set it down.
They were figuring out they're going to put their finger on the trigger or not.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they got his phone, and then I don't know if I should say
Well,
this,
thank
but
God
whatever.
you were there,
Oh,
Detective Ricky. They
What
would
part of
have missed out.
Let's just hear.
That was mostly Jay Lee's observation. I was just the one that brought it to their attention, so I can't take credit for actually noticing it was there.
So did that ruin dinner, or did you all just proceed right on through
so-
after they handcuffed and took him
Need
out?
more wings.
That made it more exciting.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most excitement I've had on Valentine's Day in a long time.
So were these guys just sitting there eating, or had they come in and
No,
sat
no,
down?
they
like,
ran in.
"Hi"?
They ran in, so they were running anyways, and they ran
Okay.
in there. So our first thought was like maybe they were like stealing something from Best Big electronics store right next door,
No.
but no, it wasn't that.
There ain't no way.
They were in trouble for something.
It was like
Gotcha.
They were being chased a while for that many people being
Yeah.
behind them. I'll
There's
tell you that
there's
right
a
now.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah, when we
yes.
looked outside, there's a lot of cop cars, and so following story from Valentine's Day a few years ago.
I
Oh,
missed the
geez,
old.
who needs good food with that going on?
I missed the old Buffalo before they remodeled.
Yeah,
They went in and
when they had the
remodeled
big
it. Yes, the
rectangle
long
TVs,
table.
and they had the
Yeah.
yellow,
Yeah, whatever
you-
with all the TVs hanging
rebar
from it.
around
Yeah.
yeah,
Back in the day when there were the square TVs,
yeah.
like the big box TVs.
And then they ended up moving all the TVs just to the wall.
yeah, and they moved that table to the
Yeah.
back to the other wall, where you're not. We like that table because we got all the action.
Yeah, now where they have the long table, you can't see all the TVs from one side.
Yeah.
You can't see any TVs from one side.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
I kind of feel like the sports bars have taken such a beating during COVID. I mean, there was nothing on. I just kind of feel like they all fell into the wayside.
Oh.
You know,
I never thought about that. How there literally
Yeah.
was nothing on.
But we don't
there
have,
wasn't.
But we don't have any we don't have any big sports bars here around us that I feel like
Not
were there
here.
Previously.
Well,
I mean, which other one can you think of? Because the brewery definitely ain't one of them.
No Frills?
Yeah, I haven't been to No Frills in a minute. Oh, I could go for some Jill's Wheels.
Chicken O's? Oh.
Some
Do you
chicken
remember,
rings.
Aliki, do you remember chicken rings from like when you're in school?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
There's a bar here called No Frills. It's a local place that has like 5 different locations. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And they sell chicken O's.
Yeah, they call them Jill's Wheels.
They call them Jill's Wills.
Jill's Will. I like that.
So
I like
they
that.
sell
It's on the
Yum.
kids menu.
With
Yeah.
good dipping sauce. With good dipping sauce.
I mean,
That's
Mashed
what-
potatoes.
Yeah, mashed potatoes and gravy.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
So we
From
know, or I guess we all do now. But we know the the manager. I don't think he's the owner of this one, but he's the manager. Because back when I bartended in Mansfield at the Chili's, he used to come in there all the time. We'd go to the No Frills there. So when they opened the No Frills here in Burleson, he moved over here. So he always got the chicken O's. And then one day he brought me out a chicken O sundae.
Oh,
It was in like
Ew.
a Coors Light pint glass, and it was layers of chicken O's, mashed potatoes, chicken O's, mashed potatoes. It was so
I
good.
could go for that right now.
So awesome.
See, I'm imagining more like breaded chicken rings, and then you use dipping sauce for it.
Well, you can do
I'm
that
gonna have
too.
to try that.
Yeah. They're breaded chicken O's. They're just like
that
round.
sounds kind of good.
They're round chicken nuggets. They're delicious. I mean, I say delicious.
Oh, they're so good.
It's not like the best chicken nugget I've ever had in my life, but it's a chicken O.
Oh,
So
man.
What is the best chicken nugget you've ever had in your whole life?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Are we talking about just restaurant or just fast food? Because
No, just in general.
I don't think I've ever had a chicken nugget from a restaurant besides the chicken O there, besides fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have kids, so you don't eat off their plate. That's what
Correct.
I've probably tasted. Chicken fingers, chicken nuggets, and any sort of chicken from about every establishment this world has to offer from kids.
Okay, I think chicken fingers from Dairy Queen, steak basket, chicken basket. If you can get the combo where they give you 2 of each, that is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Get the Dairy
Pretty
Queen
good,
Texas
yeah.
toast. Their gravies were so good. So yeah, that would be my number one choice if we're adding chicken fingers in there as well. Just chicken nuggets. It's fast food because, like I said, I don't get chicken nuggets at sit-down restaurants. So I would have to go probably Wendy's.
Ooh, no.
You don't think so?
Not me.
What do you say?
Well,
Burger King?
no, I would go McDonald's.
Interesting.
But then you got
That's old school.
the Lord chicken, Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, but I guess those are
I
nuggets,
don't.
huh?
Chicken, I do not like the grilled. But
No, they have
bread.
good nuggets. Yeah, I forgot about those. When I was at
No.
Tech,
I don't
Yeah,
think I've
the
tried those.
grilled's not good.
when I was at Tech, we had one of those in the Chick-fil-A in the common area, and they were so good.
Huh.
So I was in training, not training. I guess it's training. It was at our Dallas office today, so I had to drive to Dallas this
Today?
morning. Yeah.
Oh,
I was in I had to go to Grapevine yesterday
Uh-huh.
for stupid seminars. Then I had to go to Dallas, our Dallas office today. It took me an hour and 44 minutes to get from my house to the Dallas branch.
yeah.
I left.
I believe it.
I left 20 minutes early, saying, "Okay, that'll give me plenty of time. I don't have to be there till 8:30, so I'll miss the Fort Worth traffic. I'll miss the Dallas traffic." No, I didn't miss any traffic.
No.
Hour and 44 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
So,
How many miles?
I don't know. It should have taken me right at an hour.
Oh,
Like
gotcha.
even with traffic, it should take me an hour. Without traffic, when I came back during the middle of the day, probably about 55 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Ugh,
adding
yeah.
an
Almost
extra
double.
Yeah, almost double. So presenters brought in lunch for everybody, but they
Yeah.
didn't bring enough. They went to like a sandwich
Oh,
spot,
I saw the snap. Yeah.
and there's one thing that the box said vegetarian hummus. So even though there was not enough food for everybody to have some, nobody touched that box. It just sat there. I was like, why would you even think about bringing vegetarian hummus
Yeah.
to a bunch of Texas guys? Like we're all dudes that
Texas
work in
men,
the
no way.
all dudes that work in the construction business one way or another, whether you're a sales guy, an ops guy, a design guy
You
like
are
me.
not eating hummus.
We're not
Yeah.
eating hummus.
You're
We
not
don't-
vegetarians.
Yeah.
And you're not vegetarians.
So they had to go out and get more food, and they went and got the Lord's chicken. Then I was sad. I was like, I eat this Italian sandwich. The Italian sandwich was really good. But
you missed out on the Lord's chicken.
Then I saw that chicken sandwich. I was like, that would have been
sandwich.
good too.
Were the pickles touching?
I don't know. I didn't look. Are they not supposed to?
No.
Really?
No.
That's a thing?
I don't know. That's what I've heard.
I always get extra pickles.
Think your pickles
Yeah,
touch?
pickles are good on chicken. Yeah. I love pickles.
Do you put ketchup on your chicken sandwich?
Hell no. Chick-fil-A sauce all the way, babe.
Mayonnaise.
Oh, I hate mayonnaise. But Chick-fil-A sauce
I
is
love
with
mayonnaise.
I have a friend that puts mayonnaise on their sweet potato fries.
Ugh.
I can see that. That would be good. Yeah.
Oh.
That's weird.
I put mayonnaise on my hamburger.
Nope.
Yes,
I'm a mustard guy.
good.
I don't dislike mayonnaise, but I can't put mayonnaise on anything that is warmed up.
What?
Like if it's a cold sandwich, I can put mayonnaise on it. But once it's heated up, I can't do the mayonnaise. It's a mental thing. It's 100% a mental thing.
Yeah. I can't eat
now,
mayonnaise, period.
Miracle Whip is disgusting. It should be outlawed.
I feel like we've had this conversation.
Have we? I haven't, because I tell you right now, I like neither one.
I don't mind either one of them. But it's the same on both. They can't be on something warm. Both of them have to be cold.
Now, is it true that they dip the Lord's chicken in pickle juice before they fry it or cook it?
So a lot of places that do fried chicken do that. I'm not sure positively that they do there, but it wouldn't surprise me.
What's the point of that?
It's just a brine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I still think Popeye's chicken is the best chicken out there. If you're going to do fast food chicken, Popeye's chicken is the way to go.
Yeah, Chicken Express.
I got a funny story about Popeyes too. God, I feel like I'm using.
Oh, I'm sure you do about Popeyes. Popeyes chicken. Yes, I can see many funny stories
I've never
coming out
had
of
good
that place.
service at a Popeyes.
No,
we go to, it's
It's all about
terrible.
food. It's all about food.
I feel like I should save this Popeye story for another time.
But we already brought it up. I'll save
You
it.
leave us hanging, or is this a cliffhanger?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the details to make sure I get them right.
Think about the story.
Yeah, because I want to make sure I get all steps in there because all steps are kind of important.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just running through my head right now. What time are we at?
We had a long time.
Oh, right.
2:19.
Yeah, I got to save this for another time.
Okay. You do you.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. It involves a non-speaking Asian man trying to order food. We're also in Louisiana.
Okay.
Driving.
So you're at the Popeyes headquarters.
We're driving.
The headquarters.
Yeah. I'm giving you the bullet points, and we'll tell the rest of the story later. We're driving from New Orleans to Houston. We stop at a Popeyes. We're sitting out with our food. This Asian guy that does not speak English is trying to order food from these three very large, very loud black women with think of a Louisiana accent and exaggerate it a little bit because that's the best way I can describe it. They get mad at him because they don't speak the same language. They give him a pen and paper thinking maybe he can write in English.
I feel like you're telling the whole story.
Yeah, but I'm leaving so many details out.
Okay.
This is like when he discusses a TV show with you.
I think you should stop. Yeah.
I'm going to stop here
there.
because the way this story ends is completely shocking.
Okay.
Oh.
To where
I'm
we're
sure
like,
it is.
we got to get out of here right fucking now.
I think he hit one. I'm going to go on that he hit one of the ladies.
Okay.
No, that
with
I
his
don't.
small Asian hand.
I see.
With his small
I see
Asian
it being. I see it being the other way around.
Okay.
Okay, Aliki, I will save this story for the next time we have you on, so that way I make sure you can hear it too, because I think you'll enjoy it.
So Chicken Express or
Yes.
Cane's? Cane's chicken.
Cane's.
Cane's?
I like Cane's better than Chicken Express.
Well, the sauce or what? You like the sauce too?
I'm not huge on sauce.
Sauce is necessary.
For chicken though?
Sauce is very necessary. Yes, yes.
I don't know. I like.
Yeah.
I'd rather the gravy from Chicken Express. Chicken Express
See, now-
tenders and gravy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had
Gosh, I'm
chicken
so hungry.
tenders with gravy.
Really? Y'all have
No,
Chicken, y'all have
that
Chicken
doesn't-
Expresses up there?
No, I don't. I don't. No,
Oh. When you come down here, we gotta go to Chicken
Yeah,
Express.
you have to get some chicken eat. Y'all have Golden Chick?
I'm gonna have to eat and drink my way through that state when I come visit. I've got slurps to try, sour beer to try.
Speaking of which, when are you coming to visit?
I'm gonna have to plan it. Definitely. We were actually just talking to our friends tonight and talking about trying to come out. So we're gonna have to have an in-person visit here soon.
Yeah, in studio.
Yeah,
the clean studio.
Yes. It'd be so much fun to get to meet each other, face to face.
Oh, you can meet Napoleon and Ricky.
I know that's all I'm thinking. Now I do stalk your all's Facebook pages so that I kind of have an idea.
Oh.
So and I saw.
I need to know this. How private is mine? Because how many pictures could you see?
Actually, okay, so I'm friends with Elena.
Yeah,
I think I'm friends
well,
with
that's
you.
nice. So you didn't invite me to be a friend.
I'm friends.
Yes,
I'm
I
friends with
don't
her,
think.
too.
Well, just for the record,
Here we go.
Elena sent me a friend request.
Yeah, she had to
The
scout you out.
second we talked on air, she boom sent it over to me. So we bonded apparently.
Okay.
So I saw her in her cute little cowgirl outfit.
Oh, when you went to the rodeo?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So it was very cute. Y'all looked great, all of you.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yes. So I have been stalking. Then I saw I saw all your sports pictures from your kickball.
Yeah.
And so I was stalking that.
Go
so
sports.
apparently you all don't give two shits about me because you all have not even tried to stalk a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
It's not a friendship if you don't stalk each other.
So
I
if
think
you
I
look at my
have.
Facebook that much, if you go into it, I don't really post. I don't get on
Yeah.
there all that much.
yeah, he doesn't.
It's kind of weird because at my old job, it was half thing I did while I was at working. I would just get on Facebook, stalk people, try to think of something stupid to say. And after I started this job, it's just kind of
You got kicked out of so many groups.
yeah. I used to get kicked out of groups.
All the buy-sell trades, he would comment on people's there's always that person that posts some crappy thing.
Like
and
my
he would
favorite-
always tag us.
Yes, me, him, and
We
my
still do
brother-in-law,
that.
we would tag each other and just say stupid stuff about it.
Like, hey, I know you've been looking for one of these, and it's like it's like stupid stuff.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do now is when someone says, if the ad's still up, it's still available,
Yeah.
I will not respond to anyone that asks if it's still available. What's the first thing you think I'm going to do? Is this still available?
Always ask if it's available.
Like, I want to see if they're true to their word, because if they're not true to their word, I will never buy from them again.
I'm glad to see
But
that.
it is true though. Everybody and I sell so much stuff online, and they always, is this still available? And I do want to say, why the fuck do I have the ad up if it's not? I mean, it is true.
Well, it's like a conversation starter.
Well,
too,
and
though.
it's also an automatic response you can click on Facebook.
Exactly.
It'll pull up like,
Yes.
do you want to ask if this is still available? So
Yes.
But normally there's a follow-up
Yeah.
statement. Like, is this still available? I can come look at it at this point in time. If you just get the generic, is this still available? That's kind of the red flag on that one, I feel like. Like, if you're
Yes.
really interested in
Yeah.
it, you're like, hey, when can I come look at this? Is it available? Because I want to
Yes.
come look at it. Like, I want to be next in
Yeah.
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Next. That's what they put. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
So I do kind
Following.
of see, but yeah. But I'm always amazed how sometimes people that are selling stuff will be total dicks. You know, I'm like, well, you are trying to get someone to buy something, and
Yeah.
or when you're trying to sell something and your profile picture has 50 tattoos on your face and your head half shaved. It's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to come meet you. You know, I just love it when people will put a picture of someone that looks like they just did 20 years in prison and be like, do not buy from this person. They are a scammer. It's like, yeah,
No
Avi,
shit.
what? I wouldn't even want to go to a restaurant with this person, much less meet in a dark alley
Yeah.
to buy drugs.
Okay.
Or
What?
or the people that comment are just rude with their comments for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like
Yes.
what they're selling, just move along. And there's one that I felt bad for the girl because it was after Christmas. She's like, hey, I got this in a gift exchange. I don't want it. It's a Hooters gift card. You know, I don't really care to take my son there. I don't like their food. And that's all she really said about it. It's like, it's $25. I'll even take $20 for it. And people just instantly started like talking shit to her. What's wrong with Hooters? What's wrong with taking your kid to Hooters? And her response was like, I don't like their food. I said that in the thing, and it's like, I really want to take him there. It doesn't matter why I don't want to take him. I don't want to take him. So I went back there and was like, you know what? I'll give you $30 right now so all these people will shut the fuck up. Because there's no reason for them to treat you like shit because you don't want to go to Hooters or take your kid to Hooters for whatever reason. It might be because you don't like food, or maybe you don't want him staring at tits while he's eating, you know? It could be fucking anything.
But you, however, will pay $30 for the privilege to go stare at tits and eat their bad food.
Yeah.
You're like the Robin Hood of Facebook.
I'm the Robin Hood of big boobs and wings.
There you go. There you go. Well, I know it is. I've had someone one time, I posted something. I have these Hot Wheels, this collection of Hot Wheels, and I don't know if you know much about Hot Wheels, but they're all red lines, like first editions. And so all these people who collect these things love them. But it's a very odd group of people. And some of them get angry because obviously I'm marking the price up because I think they cost 39 cents when you bought it. So obviously I'm charging more than that. And I had this one guy berate me and say that I was ruining the whole experience of being a Hot Wheel collector by overcharging for this, and that I should be ashamed of myself, and that I was misleading people. And I was like, I'm only asking $60 for this, not $6,000. I was like, who cares if someone gives it to me? So it's kind of odd the way people will just attack, over it.
I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is like right now with all the shortages and all that, people posting like chlorine for the pools where you can't find it anywhere, and they're posting that for like $300 for a whole bucket of that. It's like, okay, now that's a little ridiculous. That guy deserves to be trolled.
You got in trouble for that. There was this guy that literally took, so he did it in our state. He took a trailer and a minivan, and he went to every Dollar General in every small town, bought it all up, and then was selling Clorox wipes and all this. He went to prison.
Yeah,
he
should.
So I think I need to get you in touch with my buddy Steve. He has a shop full of anything you could imagine. Hot Wheels, old games.
Does he collect it or sell it?
His dad collected it.
And is he looking to sell it?
Ish. Yeah.
Ish.
He sells he already sells some of it. But he's still working. I think once he plans to retire, he's gonna sell a lot of it full time. Like like little ceramic horses, that like things you can think of that are super collectible. Comic books, sports cards, Hot Wheels, like everything.
He's got a fortune. I bet he's got a fortune.
I bet he does.
It's amazing. It's amazing what collectors will buy. I mean, I had no idea. The only reason, so I was doing a job for this guy, and in the basement there was like this huge box full of these Hot Wheels. And
basements are common.
Sounds sketchy. Doing a job for this guy in his basement.
In his basement. But I brought them home just to show my fiance for shits and giggles. And then I just pulled one out and looked up the value, and I was shocked how much they were paying for it. So I mean, it's kind of a neat thing to see, and I'm sure your friend is sitting on a lot of money.
Yeah, he's got.
But people don't realize that they throw it away, donate it. They don't want it.
Yeah, he's not going to throw it away or donate it. He definitely is in the. He has the idea of making profits off of everything, but he's got a ton of stuff. He will. And he sells a lot of it on eBay now. He's got enough that will last him. He could go through and sell something every day, and he'd probably still have stuff 20 years from now.
Well, that's great.
It's a 50,
nice retirement.
It's a 50-foot by 30-foot shop just full of stuff.
Wow. That's urban treasure hunting right there.
Yeah, I think you would love to go through his stuff and just look at his stuff. He even has an office area set up to where he has a picture box, a camera box. What is it? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a
like a little, and he can take pictures in it, and it looks like the background.
It's got like a light in there. It's a white box. Put thing in there so that you can take good quality pictures of it. Yeah, he's got.
It works.
Yeah.
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 I just sold a little tiny glass vase today. That's a collector's for $125. Oh. It was, 6 inches tall, little piece of glass. I had no idea who made it, and I went on Facebook and asked a group and a collectors group, and boom, they told me, and sold it like in 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. Kind of fun. While I sit there and watch Netflix shows, I love it.
Right.
It's a perfect career for me.
I bet it is. Yeah. So when you visit here, you're gonna have to go for more than just like a weekend.
Yeah.
I am. I'm gonna have to fly out every month so that I can kind of do a podcast, sell a few things, eat some chicken rings and gravy.
Whoa.
It's gonna be a full itinerary.
No, Jill's Wheels.
Well, chicken O's.
No, they're not chicken O's.
They're chicken
we
O's.
always used to call them chicken rings.
I always call them chicken O's.
Yeah, Ricky's all the chicken O fan.
I've always called them chicken O's.
They're chicken rings because we eat chicken rings at White Castle here.
See?
We have chicken rings at White Castle.
Yeah.
Going too far, but
we have Carl's Jr. where you get chicken stars.
I've never ate at Carl's Jr.
I used to when I was in Lubbock because they were there then before they were here. Also,
wasn't that kind of part of is it Hardy's chain? Who
Yeah,
was Carl's?
It's hard to
Yeah, it
Hardee's,
is.
Yeah. Now, have you ever been to a Roy Rogers?
I have not.
Negative.
That is up like in Washington, D.C. And that's sort of, and I don't know if they do it anymore, but you would get your burger and then they would have like a condiment bar. And you would be able to, turn your hamburger into like a 12-foot pile of, extra toppings.
Nice.
But I'm sure COVID, I don't know if they're around there anymore.
Oh,
It's been
definitely
a while,
not
but they were
Washington,
pretty
D.C. Definitely not.
Well, and the buffet type thing, condiment bar.
Yeah, it probably closed down because all the fun was done after COVID.
Have you
All the good
ever
stuff.
heard of or been to a Taco Villa?
No,
I
not
don't
a
think
Taco
I've
Villa.
been there, but I've heard of it.
When I went to Lubbock for college, I had to leave Fast Taco behind because they only had it in Burleson at the time. And they have that thing called a taco burger, which is amazing. Then somebody told me about this place that had taco burgers. So I went there, and then I asked somebody else, like, you should go to Taco Villa and get a taco burger. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, the Taco Villa.
The Taco
And
Villa.
like, you mean the Taco Villa? I was like, you country motherfuckers. Y'all don't know how to say shit around here.
Villa is probably the fancy way of saying.
I feel like it's more like the Hispanic way of saying it.
All right.
Villa, V-I-L-L-A, right?
Yeah.
Villa.
Like Pancho
It
Villa.
makes the most sense when you're talking about a Mexican restaurant.
Yes, but fast food Mexican is not real Mexican.
I mean,
No, you're right.
You're right.
Tex-Mex
It's
is also
American.
not real Mexican.
yeah, Tex-Mex
No.
isn't, but I love Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
It is good.
What about
Now, I'll tell you what you all have that I love is Torchies.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Torchies.
Yes, we do not have Torchies. And I had Torchies the first time in downtown Austin, and it lived up to its reputation.
I think that might be the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
It was really good.
Yeah, they have Torchies in Colorado now too. So we'll eat there when I'm
Nice.
up there with my sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's very good.
All right, I think we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah.
All right. It's been fun as usual.
Perfect.
Well, it's been fun.
Okay.
All
Again, hit us up on the website, simpsonleon.com. Email us, simpsonleon@gmail.com.
Find us on Spotify,
TikTok,
iTunes, or anywhere. Oh yeah, we're
all
on
that.
TikTok, the SNL _boys with
That's
a Z.
right. And we got a new logo coming out soon, so be looking for that.
Thanks for calling Ouachita River Haven. And I'm like, my God, why do I sound like Yosemite Sam right now?